welcome you into Westlake High School. This is Mike Goodkind alongside high school football aficionado Brian Brown on a beautiful late summer evening here from Saratoga Springs, Utah. Brian, what a night here from Saratoga Springs, and a great second week of high school football.
It's a beautiful evening, Mike, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. The good news is you got the wide body to block the wind up top. We are on top of the press box, so if you hear some noises, it's not just the excitement from me over the matchup that we have tonight. There is some wind whipping as well, but to your point, it's hard to beat settings like this. You see the entire valley out in front of us as we're about to kick off tonight.
End zone.
Well, and you said this, we talked about this obviously prior. Both teams kind of on the come up this season, as Alta here on the kickoff. Number 16, Jackson McAllister to kick it off, and that'll be a touchback to begin this game from Saratoga Springs. But Brian, yeah, what you were saying.
Yeah, Jackson taking advantage of the wind right there. And you've got a program with Westlake that's under year number 2 with Coach Alta, right? They're trying to establish a culture here. It's a program that's got a ton of advantages, a huge enrollment here. There's never been able to build a culture. Going up against a first-year head coach in Blake Burdett. He's had a ton of experience. He coached Utah rugby. He's played at the University of Utah, and he's trying to breathe some life into this program.
His first plays are around the middle, and great job by the Alta defense as they absolutely stuffed Ashton Taylor at the line.
Yeah, nice gang tackle there by the Hawks, as you pointed out. And I think we're going to call Ashton Taylor's name a lot tonight. He's their lead back. He's really the heart and soul of this offense. Sophomore came in, had a great game last week.
And Bolzer Brighton hands it off again. Ashton Taylor, nice little spin move, and he gets away for a first down and more. It's going to be a gain of about 13.
Well, it can be the announcer's blessing or the announcer's curse, right? And right there was a blessing for Ashton Taylor as he rumbles and stumbles his way for a first down. Unfortunately, it looks like we have an Alta Hawk that is down on the ground there. So I think we're going to tend to this. We'll see. Hopefully everything is okay down there with the Alta player. Looks like we might have a little bit of a cramp issue. We'll see.
We're not even getting to see who that is. Do you see that is, Brian?
I can't get a number necessarily. So with a trainer kind of shooing them away, it looks like they're going to be able to take care of the athlete. But in the meantime, Mike, you know, we wanted to talk a little bit pregame about this matchup. And Coach Alta comes here from Payson, established a winning culture there. I believe they made the playoffs in his last season. Now he comes to Westlake, and there's a lot of good young talent on this roster. For me, the matchup really starts up front defensively for Westlake, and that group is led by Nusi Taumapeo. He had a great game last week, had 7 tackles, I believe, 3 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. And that crew will really kind of set the tone for Westlake, countered with Alta, who I think really has to figure out an identity after a different kind of a matchup last week against Juan Diego, right?
Well, I actually had a chance to catch up with Coach Burdett. You know, which actually, thanks to you. You sent over the phone number. Great job. And what he did say to me was, you know, first 16 minutes of the game were dominated by Juan Diego. So again, first 16 of TOP was all Juan Diego, which kind of meant when they finally got the football, they had no choice but to throw the ball. Obviously, they came out with the W last week, but like you said, against this front 7, against Westlake, Alta's gonna have to kind of come out firing on the rushing game. As there's a nice little comeback route. As he's stuffed at the 40-yard line, as Jackson Lattimore is going to be
to Jackson Lattimore.
Now you can see the tenaciousness of this Alta Hawk defense, and not to use a cliche, but they really do fly to the football. That's part of the mentality and the culture that Coach Burdett has established here early on, and it's part of what led him to a massive comeback win in Week 1 against Juan Diego.
Well, here's Brighton from the shotgun. He's going to take the shotgun snap, drops back to pass, looking, got a lot of time, throws one deep down the field, and that's caught, and he's dropped at the 21. A beautiful catch and run for Trayson. They call him Zoom, and what a catch and run from Trayson.
Well, it's a great job by QB1, standing back there, letting his offensive line protect him, waits for the man to go open, and he's used to this win, so he throws a perfect ball, and they're up and ready to run, Mike.
Beautiful football there, Brian Brown. Gotta love to see it. Next run here is going to be a handoff up the middle, a little blast play. And it's a gain of about
for this
half yard there.
for this Westlake offense, they had a rough game last week against Weber. That's a storied program up in the northern part of Utah, so they're looking to really establish something, and that was a big play to give them some confidence.
Love to see it as a flag flies here. Is it a false start here, BB? What do you think?
As we get our first flag, I will mention to the audience that my goal this year when it comes to the officials, love and positivity.
Are you telling me something about last season, BB?
Listen, I may be a little too critical of the guys in stripes. It's the former coach in me, but we want to bring that good vibes to these games, and so I'm just going to shrug and say, hey, we're going to roll with every flag we get tonight.
High school aficionado, you heard it here, folks. If Brian Brown's not complaining, you shouldn't either.
I'm sure everybody at home is going to listen to that.
Brighton here, shotgun snap again. And he's going to hand that off to Taylor. Taylor bounces out here, but he's dragged down. Beautiful defensive play. And all started by Noah Forbes.
That's just disciplined football there by Noah Forbes. He maintains his integrity, stays outside, and as the middle of that defense forces Taylor to bounce it, he's right there and does a good job of dragging him down. We do have a flag here in that area. I wonder if maybe we're going to get a horse collar. Yeah. Looks like that's going to be either that or a face mask because he was a little bit high trying to bring him down.
9:54 on the clock. This ball is going to move here. So they got dropped there at the 30, and they're moving this thing all the way to the 15. So a 15-yard penalty there.
Yeah, the good news for the Hawks
penalty,
here.
Rather. I'm used to the NFL.
Yeah, the good news for the Hawks is it still gives them short of the first down, so that initial pushback doesn't necessarily put them into touchdown scoring position.
Well, Brighton here from the shotgun again. Throws one right. Here we go. We got some action. Nice, beautiful move by Jackson Lattimore. That's going to be a gain of looks like they're going to put him at the first down. That line judge there. Let's see, he was dropped to the 6. He should be at the line. Let's see.
That gives Westlake a first down.
Yeah, that gives them the first down, and now first and goal to go here for the Thunder. But you can see Jackson Lattimore, just a junior, great size, able to break some tackles, get him here into scoring position.
Jackson Lattimore last game, 2 receptions for 22 yards. He had a 119-yard catch and run. Here today, already active. As again, shotgun snap, Ashton Taylor behind Brighton here. Looks like another false start call. And that's 3 penalties in the first quarter of this game.
You know, they talk so often, Mike, about how the growth really comes from week 1 to week 2. And we may see that the battle that really shakes out is who can minimize the mental mistakes in this game, especially early on. You see there, you got the face mask from Alta, and now the false start on Westlake. 2 almost back-to-back plays, messing with the field position here.
And you talk about pivotal moments, Brian Brown, you know, especially coming from last game for both teams, both close games. You know, it's going to come down to yards lost, right? And minimizing those plays, like you said, is going to lead to a lot of capitalization for six.
And field position in high school football just so critical.
As he drops back to pass, throws to the end zone. That's out of the reach of Lattimore, intended target.
Yeah, I think even Maserati Marvin Harrison might have had a hard time reeling that one in. Just a little high, right? Feeling a little bit of pressure there. And that's the benefit to Alta for being backed up against their own end zone here. It really shortens the field, so they're able to apply a lot more pressure.
So it's going to be a 2nd and goal from the 11 as Brighton comes back to the huddle here. Let's see what they're going to call. Coming again from the shotgun. Nothing under center yet, BP. As Brighton here from the shotgun, he's got Taylor right behind him. And he fumbles the snap. Is he going to jump on it? Does he? Was he there in time? As the Alta Hawks were Hawks on that football.
Yeah, it does seem like Westlake was able to recover that one, but to your point, Mike, not going under center, you're going from shotgun, and you see a lot of that in high school football, right? The throw game has become so critical at this level and really so potent. But on that one, just a snap that got away from him, put that behind you, and time to roll forward because it's 3rd and goal, and they really want to punch this one in.
A 3rd and goal. What could have been from the 6 here is from the 14-yard line. As Brighton again back in the shotgun snap. He's got Taylor behind him. 2 receivers left, 1 in the slot. Here we go. Draws back to pass, and another flag here. Is that another false start? What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be the left tackle there, number 71, with a little bit of a false step pre-snap.
False start, Westlake, 5-yard penalty.
Again, we talk about the mental errors and just how critical it is to try and minimize those, but that's the young freshman, Malachi Leilua, a little bit of a hesitation.
Now, we talked about Malachi on the phone, Brian Brown, and this is a guy who already has offers from Utah, from USC, from BYU. He's just a freshman.
Yeah, a very talented freshman. He's 6'4", I believe 260, that about range. You can see him with the red cleats. Very highly touted.
Here we go. Brighton throws over the middle, nearly picked off, and
pass intended
off the hands of Jack McAllister.
Britton Johnson.
Britton Johnson.
Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, Johnson, another one of those young, talented players here at Westlake that they're trying to develop and speed up, and just miscommunication there with the quarterback. You wish you could have that one back, but in the meantime, looks like Westlake's going to attempt a field goal here. Almost about a 30, looks like about a 35-yarder.
Gabe Contreras, it's blocked at the line, and that's picked up. And here we go. This could be fun. Here he goes from the 30 to the 40, crossing midfield, now to the opposite 40, to the 30, and dropped out of bounds at the 25. What a play.
Well, he was smelling supper on that one as he scrambles and scampers, trying to get in the end zone. But the bigger credit is to the guys up front and a well-coached unit for the Alta Hawks as they get their first big turnover of the game with a blocked field goal. And immediately that offense is going to step into a great position. Credit to special teams coordinator Joey Wilmore. He's a former Weber State Wildcat, learned under Jay Hill, knows his stuff, and you can see it come into play right there.
Well, Kaysen Torrey just in a great position there. Kick was blocked. He's right there, and he had nothing but green pasture there. BB.
Yeah, a little bit of extra juice, and maybe he's stuck in that bright blue end zone. But nevertheless, Alta is set up in really great position here.
As here we go, Alta High School now. And Tucker Brown there, dropped the snap, falls right on it, to be a loss of 4.
Yeah, some early nerves here for the Hawks, as you can see, and Brown is still a relatively inexperienced QB, stepping into the position after they lost the starter from last season, and that's a big position to fill because Keppa last year was incredible.
Well, we talked about Keppa, he had 106 QB rating, and really just a great campaign for this team, so Tucker Brown, big shoes to fill.
Big shoes for sure. And Keppa now at Lone Peak, starting quarterback over there.
Brown's going to fire toward the end zone, double coverage, and out of the reach.
Passing complete.
Number 16, Jack McAllister.
But you can see why they have so much confidence in Brown, right? That's a great ball. A little bit of air underneath it, just a little too far out of the reach of his receiver. I guarantee you if we see that again, they will dial it in.
3rd down.
The hard part about it is it does put him in 3rd and long right here.
But again, could have been 7-0 or 8-0.
Yeah.
And they have the ball on Westlake's 30. I think they'll take that any day of the week.
Absolutely. If you're Coach Burdett, it's all about the learning process right now. Let this first quarter, this first series be about filling out the opposition. As we got to have an interruption here.
Tucker Brown, flags fly. It's going to be, looks like a
timeout.
No, was it timeout or was it a false start?
I think we had an illegal participation with too many men on the field, and so Alta takes the timeout to try and avoid the penalty.
So from the 30 here, you got a 3rd and long. Brian, what's the play here? You're from, the opposite 30. 15 yards to go. What do you think they do here?
Well, it really does keep the playbook nice and concise. And so you looked at maybe, if you're talking about it with your offensive coordinator on the headset, you're talking, maybe do we look for a screen pass or a draw play just to put us in good position to get a field goal, or do we take a shot? You got plenty of open field here to the left. And so if you can get a good 5-step drop and some protection, maybe get a drag route or a post corner going for that far end zone, just get enough time that you can get a ball out there.
Well, maybe a bubble screen and Nolan Lona out of the backfield and, again, just a positive play.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they're a little distracted by their own cleats today. Easy to see those bright green.
Tucker Brown takes the shotgun snap. Defense comes, and that's a complete pass. Oh, looks like it was a 14-yard gain. Did he get to the first down? It was a great play by Matt McKay.
Yeah, and that's really what we should have talked about is if you, when in doubt, throw it to Matt McKay. And he is a phenomenal athlete. He played quarterback last year. He's played quarterback his entire life. But you're starting to see what he can do as just a pure athlete, a wide receiver, able to stretch out and get him close to the first down. They're going to go for it here. I like this call.
So it'll be a 4th and 1 from about the 15-yard line here. As Tucker Brown again from the shotgun. And he's got Nolan Lones to his right. Let's see what they're going to do here. And did he draw the defense offside? Or was it a false start, Brian? I don't know.
Yeah, well, this one I actually will leave up to the officials because it did look like Westlake jumped a little bit beforehand, but there were Alta people up front moving as well.
Flag on the play.
So this one will be a tough one to figure out.
We should just stop and say for a second, Brian. What a night. I mean, beautiful. I mean, it's a little windy. It's a little windy here in Saratoga Springs, Utah, but a beautiful night. We look out at the mountains here and covered by a little, some, I don't know if that's smog or a little fog out there, but
could be a little dust as well. It's been a windy day today.
Yeah.
So as these officials really are trying to figure out which way to go with this, and to be honest, this is a critical penalty here. If it goes against Westlake, it does look like it's going against Alta. I wonder if Coach Burdett thinks about his decision here a little bit.
False start against the Hawks.
And it is a false start.
You like the call
4th and 6 rather.
from Alta. Try and get him to draw them off sides. You just need your guys to be a little bit more disciplined. Again, these are two very young football teams in essence that are trying to learn that discipline.
Kick number 16,
now they're going to attempt the field goal.
For the Hawks.
And Jack McAllister is going to line up here for the 36-yarder. Not an easy kick. Woo. As he drills that one. That is good. So Alta, the Hawks take the lead, 3-0 here. 5:42 to go in the first.
Gotta love that one. Make it look easy. Set it up. That's better than my lob wedge there on, I'm trying to think of what the local course is, but not a lot of munis out here in Saratoga, but a beautiful scene nevertheless, and a nice drive and finish there for Alta off of the block field goal.
Way to capitalize, Brian Brown. We said this too. Comes down to penalties, but also turnovers. You're able to force turnovers and put yourself in a good position, and you turn what would have been a 7-0 Westlake Thunder lead into a 3-0 Hawks lead here.
Yeah, and in essence, it becomes a 10-point flip there, right, with the field goal. And for Alta, you get the first series out. You're able to get some points on the board. Didn't get a ton of yardage, but did get close to a first down. Now for Westlake, the onus is on them to really bounce back. They proved they could get down the field on an explosive play. How many of those are really left in the bag now after you used the first one? Hard to say. They really need to manufacture a drive here.
As McAllister boots one through the end zone, and it's going to be another touchback.
And that one was good again as he splits the uprights. A little bit of an assistance there from the wind. Well, it doesn't look like we have flags on the uprights, but just take my word for it.
Jack McAllister's got a boot, though.
He does.
Brian Brown, he does.
He does. And if we had the multiple camera angles, we'd zoom in on the flag right now that's in the south end zone as it is dead straight, heading in a northerly direction.
As Brighton here is going to take over from his own 20. And again from the shotgun, he's got Ashton Taylor behind him. And Taylor on the run. He's going to try to bounce off this one. He bounces to the left and a great defensive wrap-up. And it was started by number 11, Cole Albrecht.
Well, if there are young players watching at home, that's how you stop a counter. You have to eliminate the lead blocker and, in essence, create a pileup back there to allow your defense to flow. Just a great job playing the edge. And we're seeing early on, this Alta defense is extremely well coached. Just doing the basics well can lead to so much success.
Well, also, Coach Burdett did tell me, Cole Albrecht, look out for him this game. He was out last game, but this game he's going to come out. And he's going to come out firing. Here we go, right in the middle, and he's got room to run. Ashton Taylor. Let's say gain 6 there.
By number 4, Ashton Taylor.
Maybe 7 on the run.
Yeah, benefited by that early stop, so he's not going to get the first down. But you can see why he's so capable, right? Right up the middle there. He's a big bag. He's almost 6 feet tall. I believe he's 180-something pounds. And I believe just a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
My yardage is off, Brian Brown, by the way. I think I said it was a gain of 10. That must have been a gain of 10. I said 7. I don't know. What am I doing over here? Here we go. Throw to Lattimore. Lattimore wrapped up nicely.
Pass complete to Jackson Lattimore.
By number 25, Riker Ellis.
You see a little back and forth with Lattimore and McKee there as Lattimore tries to reach out. McKee replaces it, and a little acknowledgement. A lot of these guys work out together. They train with the same guys, and so it's fun to see that camaraderie within the competition.
You see that a lot, Brian?
Well, I mean, it depends. I think football in this state is it's such a tight-knit family for a lot of reasons that you don't see a lot of the negative side of it. So, yeah, I think you do.
All right, Brian takes a snap, and defense comes after him. He gets dropped out of bounds to the 35. It's a big hit by number 43, Mason Teller.
Yeah, and you can see this Alta defense, what they lack in size, they make up for in tenacity and toughness. They have a lot of freshmen that are dressing for them, and I think Coach Burdett understands what his task is. He's really got to build a program here, and so he's got to get his young guys to buy in and get them some experience. And so you are going to give up some things up the middle, but you saw it there. Their ability to pursue, really advantageous.
Brighton takes a snap, hands off to Taylor. Taylor's got room to run here. And another big run, but also a big hit by
number 8,
Matt McKay.
Yeah, and you can see why. Listen, warning to everybody out there, I'm going to gush a lot about Matt McKee. I called this game last year in the playoffs against West. He was phenomenal. I believe in him. I think he's a legitimate D1 player. For whatever coaches might be tuning in, this is a kid you want to offer. We saw last night with Corner Canyon IMG, Utah football is on the map.
Would you put it as well, I guess I'll ask you the question after this play here, but as Brighton takes a snap, he's going to hand it off. Taylor's got more room to run as he blows right by the defense into the opposite 40. Down to the 35, and he's dropped at the 33.5-yard line.
Boy, and this one's going to be coming back. Unfortunately, there's a penalty flag out there. It looked like it was a great block, but again, we are far removed from the action, so we don't get every angle. And I believe the wide receiver might have gotten either a little too much jersey or something out there, and so might be close to a first down even despite it. But this one is going to be coming back.
Honestly, thank goodness we got you here, Brian Brown, because you saw the flag. You knew the penalty early.
The offensive lineman in me is strong, despite the fact that I always try to claim that offensive linemen just want to give hugs. There is a lot of holding that goes on in the run blocking game. So you'll see again, that's going to be placed just 2 yards in front of the yardage marker, so it will be a first down.
Holding against Westlake.
It does negate the big chunk play, though. And Mike, this is our first time calling a game, so I will let you learn a little secret.
Yeah, what do we got?
I always talk about explosive plays being a key to every drive. If you can get one of 15 or more, that usually leads in a score.
Plays 15 or more are usually going to lead into scores, what you said?
Yeah, I know. I should be writing children's books or something.
Hallmark or something. There, one throw. Brighton throws deep down toward the sideline, nearly picked off by Matt McKay.
Yeah, now's our time to come back and talk about Matt, right? And to your point or the question, where does he play? Anywhere he wants, but we're seeing right there just his skill set, his ability to track the ball. I think he's got a great future at safety, and he's got great size as well. I'm trying to remember, 6'3", 210. So, I don't know that he's quite 6'3", but 6'2" for sure.
Last game, 5 receptions for over 100 yards. Here we go, Ashton Taylor up the middle. Another nice run. It was not Ashton Taylor that time, actually. Check that one. Looks like it was number...
McKee with the tackle again, but a little bit of a skirmish there with our other favorite new player on the edge, number 1. I believe it was Noah Forbes there getting into with somebody from Westlake, and we talk about it. Friendly competition. Sometimes it gets a little heated, but I don't. My personal opinion, I don't think there was anything flag worthy on that one, but we'll let the officials huddle up.
Brian, you said it earlier in the game. You're not going to get involved with the officials today.
Love and positivity.
Love and positivity. Mason Tapasoa on the run there. We were so used to seeing Ashton Taylor, and obviously we don't have the TV up here. We are literally in the elements, folks, from Saratoga Springs.
It's a little different broadcasting from a high school booth. For one, it's not even on a booth. We're on a roof.
Yep.
We don't get the replays. We're pretty far removed. No spotters. So we appreciate everybody at home being understanding. Really what we appreciate is that run.
Mason Tapusoa jolts himself forward to the opposite 36 for a first down. Nice run.
A little thunder and lightning, and really it's just a lot of thunder. Tapusoa able to drive that pile. He comes off and he's fired up.
Chairman game on September 6th. Please talk to a cheerleader tonight to get signed up.
So here we go at the line from the 39. As Brighton's going to call the play. We're under 2 minutes here in the first. Brighton hands it off. And another bounce to the outside and a nice run from Ashton Taylor as he's getting busy here in the first quarter. Drop to the 30.
Yeah, just a great job to see the block, cut back inside of it, and find the open hole. And you can see Ashton Taylor, for a young player, he's got a lot of skill. It's probably why he's starting ahead of Tapusoa, who is a junior. But you can see that the two of them work well together, and realistically, this really benefits Westlake to establish a ground game.
Ashton Taylor last game, Brian Brown, he hit 213 yards on the ground for 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. And the kid's a monster.
Yes, he is. And I think we're going to see another big night from him tonight.
Here we go. Brighton takes shotgun snap, avoids the sack, flags fly. He's on the run, and he's going to be rushed out of bounds, and the ball is knocked loose. Nice defensive play and by Bennett Coaster.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you worry about the ball getting knocked loose on that one. You want him to tuck it away just a little bit, but regardless, to your point, Mike, this one is coming back. Again, just an offensive lineman trying to hug a defender. I don't get it, but you know what? Love and positivity.
Brian, would you try to hug a defender too? Or did you back in your day?
No, never.
No hugging?
Never. I never taught my offensive linemen how to give proper hugs.
Holding against Westlake.
Holding is, look, as an offensive lineman, you're always at a disadvantage. And so you're always going to get those kinds of plays, especially against a unit like Alta has, where it is a smaller, quicker group. And so that's why I talk so much about the run game being critical for them. I think they can really establish a lot through it.
See what they do here from the 40. Brighton takes a snap. Defense comes, and did he throw a pick? Looks like he did. Number 20, Kay Centauri, the cornerback. Nice play, as that's going to be the first interception of this one.
Kay Centauri, right place, right time. And man, that's one of those plays that if you're the quarterback from Westlake, if you're Brenton Balser, you wish you had that one back. You know, that's what we used to tell our quarterbacks all the time, live to play another play. On that one, he either needs to drive it or send it out of bounds. It just floats on a little bit. And now Alta, with 2 turnovers already on 2 straight drives, has an opportunity to establish a drive of their own. And looks like Coach Ale is going to call timeout to try and settle his squad down.
I got to ask you, Brian, I mean, last game, Brighton threw 3 picks. Here he throws 1 in the first quarter. Being a quarterback at a high school team, how do you calm yourself down, in Brighton's position?
Well, that's a great point, Mike. It's really hard, and that's part of why I love high school football so much. We're watching these kids grow, and we're watching them evolve live in front of us, and so there is no backup that you can go to necessarily. You're not like trying to figure out which quarterback's going to do it. And for him, really what it's about is just playing for the next play. And that's why I like the phrase, live to play another play. If you screwed up last time, let's look forward to the next one. And that's what he's trying to build with his mindset. And you point out the fact that you're coming off a game where you had 3 interceptions. It's got to be sticking in the back of his mind just a little bit. So I'll be very curious what they do offensively when they come out for this next series.
Well said, Brian Brown. Here we go. Nolan Lones up the pipe.
Ball's run by number 23.
Nice little 4-yard run by Nolan Lones.
And if Alta can establish a little bit of a run game here, I think that plays to their advantage. It is a windy day today, and I think the wind will eventually drop down. We'll see. People who probably live out here are shaking their heads at me right now. But either team, whichever team can really establish the ground game, I think that's going to favor them so much more there in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And we saw that a little bit last night with the way Corner Canyon played. They just stayed patient.
See if they stay patient here. 2nd and 7 from their own 35. Brown takes the snap. He's going to launch this one downfield, and he's got a man, and that's a completion at the 35-yard line. Trevin Fabrizio.
Well, what a job by Fabrizio. And if you know the Fabrizio family, that means football. I think I talked to his little sisters at the concession stands. They are a football family, and that was a football play right there. Goes up and snatches the ball down, and Alta is really cooking right now with great field position.
That's the end of the first quarter.
And that's going to do it. We got triple zeros on that clock. Brian Brown, is it time to take it to the booth for all viewers here? I think.
Yard line and recognize our Wiffle Players of the Week.
We're going to come into the booth here, I think. I think it's time for a little booth visit for the camera. I don't know.
Brody Danzy. And our youth conference player
from Westlake High School, Brian Brown alongside Mike Goodkind. And high school football is in full swing here, week 2 from Westlake High. Brian, it's been a good one here so far.
It has an exciting game. A lot of interesting storylines developing as Westlake's been able to move the football, then turn the ball over twice. We'll see if Alta can capitalize here at the start of the second quarter on that second turnover.
We got Tucker Brown here as May goes in motion. He fakes the handoff to Nolan, throws over the middle, and it's going to be a little low.
Complete.
But it was intended for Trevin Fabrizio. Big play to Fabrizio. Why not go to him again, you know?
Yeah. End up becoming the favorite target here. We'll have to wait and see. If you're the Westlake defense, you want to really lock down on Matt McKee because you have a fantastic front seven led by Nusi Taumwaipeu, the Stanford commit. He is everywhere, number 11. You can see him with the long hair. He plays linebacker, he plays tight end, he plays H-back. He'll even rush from the edge. Just a really, really impressive player.
Tucker Brown again from the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Nolan. Rolls left, avoids the sack, throws, and nearly picked off. But flags do fly as the intended target was Bear Strong.
You're going to get a flag there for it looks like pass interference, and I think you're also going to get one in the backfield for roughing the passer as well. Just one of those plays, bang plays, right? He gets out of the pocket, and I kind of got to give a little bit. I hate to do this because they're defensive guys, but I got to give a little bit of leeway to the defensive players on there. Sometimes they call those a little too tightly, especially when he's rolling out of the pocket out there. But we'll wait and see what the final decision is here. Regardless, I think it's going to play in Alta's favor.
Why do you say that, Brian?
Well, it's really tough to ask a defender to just stop and lay off a quarterback right there, because if he does, he can scramble and pick up more yards. And really what we saw there is Brown's trying to throw off platform, right? That's advantageous for Westlake. So if you're taking away an advantageous play for the defense,
declined.
You know, that only leaves them so many other ways that they can get the ball back.
Personal foul.
This game does still need to be fair to some degree, even though we all want to see touchdowns. I get that.
Well, the roughing the passer was, there were 2 penalties, and pass interference was declined. They accepted the roughing the passer, like you mentioned. Here we go.
Yeah, and really, out of the 3 results of that play, that's the best one for Alta, because that was almost picked off as well.
Brown's going to take this one from the Thunder 20. Great field position again. Nolan Lonez to his right here. He's got 1 receiver left, 2 right. Here he goes. Fires toward the end zone. No. It was great coverage.
Pass incomplete.
And the intended target that time was Evan Morton.
Intended for number 3, Evan Morton.
Yeah, and there's a lot of those Alta Hawks receivers that are young and trying to learn to go after a football there. You can see the defender's got great position. If you're the Alta receiver, you've got to fight to be in a better spot to go get that one. I like the no call on there.
Finn Maurer, though, great coverage on that, like you mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. And this Westlake defense is really, really good. This is going to be their bread and butter all season long.
Tucker Brown again from the shotgun. 2 right, 1 left. Takes the snap. And that's going to be
Balls run by number
'Run the middle for Nolan Lonez. And that's going to be a loss of 1 for a 3rd and long.
Brought down by number 60, Caleb Burdett.
And if
nice tackle by Caleb Burdett.
Yeah, an interesting story. Caleb Burdett, first cousin of Blake Burdett. So this is like the family bowl to see who gets the turkey leg at Thanksgiving.
3rd and 13.
You've got to throw a Madden reference in at some point, right?
We needed that.
Yeah.
Caleb Burdett. We got a little family showdown here, Brian.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
This is family business out here.
As Tucker Brown going to take the snap here. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Drops the pass, fires this one, and nearly, was it picked up? It was. An interception.
Pass is picked off by
for number 8, Finn Maurer. Great coverage on the play prior, and this play comes over the pin.
Well, Finn Maurer, just a little bit of razzle and a little dazzle as he tips the ball to himself. Able to reel it in for the interception. We talked about it. This Westlake defense is good, and they finally get a turnover there. And this team is fired up. We'll see what the offense can do. They've had good field position. Now they're backed up inside their own 10-yard line. I have to believe that Alta is going to be aggressive trying to get a turnover here.
Question is, do we start calling him Maurer Island? I don't know.
Listen, he's out there petitioning for it, so we might as well too.
Start the campaign now, folks.
That's right. Take away that left side of the field.
Yeah. Here is Brighton back on the field from their own 9.5. Takes the snap, floods the pocket. Fires this one and nearly picked off out of the reach of number 87, Beckham Featherstone.
And Featherstone is going to be a guy someday, but on that one you can see just how talented some of these NFL quarterbacks are, because it is really hard to throw off platform, especially when you're rolling opposite of your throwing hand and just you're not able to get any drive or any zip on the ball. It's a really tough one, and again, Alta with the pressure there helps force that incompletion.
Well, this win cannot be good for QBR, Brian.
No, it's not good for completion rates. It's great for defensive backs. They're loving it.
They love it. Here we go. Ashton Taylor bounces this one to the outside, and he keeps plugging away for a solid, looks like a 9 or 10-yard run as flag flies there.
I wonder if this one's going to be a little late contact here on Westlake, and if so, that's an absolute killer of a penalty. But the real story is Taylor and his rushing ability. You see, again, the vision there, able to cut it inside. You know, if he can be just a little bit more patient, those big dogs up front are not quite as fast-moving, believe it or not, as everybody else on the field. And so if you can let him get in a position, he might have been able to break that for a little bit more, but all the same, you can see what Taylor brings to the game. He's just great vision, hard runner, and I think Westlake's really finding their rhythm is going to be on the ground.
Well, Ashton Taylor, just a sophomore, Brian. I mean, what this kid can do by his senior year, the sky's the limit.
And look, you know, as we see him in the backfield, number 4 there, he's got great size just as a sophomore. The development is going to be fast and furious, I'm sure.
As the penalty pulls them to their own 9 again. Brighton will take the snap, though, on the 3rd and long. And hands off to Taylor, and Taylor is dropped. And a nice defensive play by number 36, Rylan Adrian.
And you see Balser with a little indecision there. I'm not sure if there was a bobble on the handoff or what, but you can see some frustration from the Westlake offense. The good news is no turnovers. The bad news is you got to punt it away. The other good news is you're punting with the wind here, so you should be able to get a decent kick.
From their own 9-yard line.
Out to kick for Westlake, number 89, Hector Contreras.
Hector Contreras here. Going to punt this one away. See if they can knock Alta back a little bit. Was that blocked into the end zone? And it was. Is that a touchdown for the Hawks? It is. SIX for the Hawks.
Touchdown, Alta Hawks.
Special teams are special for a reason, Mike. That's why they call them special teams. It does look like we have an injured Hawk player down, but that's 6 easy points there for those Alta Hawks. And again, special teams coordinator Joey Wilmore coming in strong today. A great effort, great job getting the block. A little bit of a high snap there. And for Westlake, it's just a complete disaster in there as that turns into points. They're hoping to pin them back a little bit. Just not going to work out.
And who but Matt McKay, by the way, on the touchdown.
And maybe it's a good thing the viewers don't have a camera on us, but I just reacted to it. But because, of course, he's been everywhere tonight for the Hawks, and he's been everywhere all game long. As you see, injured player gets up and jogs off the field. Likely fell on the football. Likely got the wind knocked out of him. Those are one of those things that you start to learn a little bit more as you get older. But the good news for the Hawks is they're lined up for a PAT, and that's a great place to be.
Yeah, well, Jack McAllister for the extra point here, but again, Matt McKay just put on a campaign this season already. Here we go. And the kick is straight through the uprights as They take a 10-0 lead here, and the Thunder is in trouble here.
Yeah, they are, Mike, and this is where they really need to get settled down. You talked about finding ways to be composed, and this is kind of what happened to them last week against Weber too, right? A few early scores, a few turnovers, the game gets away from them, and what really is a close matchup can end up becoming a blowout in a hurry. For Alta, this is a little bit of new territory as well, because they're playing with the lead suddenly. They haven't had a lead since like the last play of the game against Juan Diego.
We talked about that first 16 minutes of the game last game. They didn't touch the football. Yeah. And then after the first 16 minutes, they scored 1 out of every 6 plays.
And if you're wondering at home, how did you not touch the football for the first 16 minutes? Juan Diego's a triple option football team. So they are 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, just up and down the field. And so a big difference here for Alta. And you're seeing the growth for them from week 1 to week 2. Are we going to see that same kind of growth from Westlake here?
What does Coach Ollie have up his sleeve here, Brian?
Well, I think really what it is going back to the ground game. There doesn't need to be any trick plays or anything like that. It's been efficient. It's really what you need to do is get your guys to take a deep breath and calm down. Nothing is in peril right now. You're down 10-0, so it's not out of control. You can get right back into this with a touchdown drive. But, maybe you get a little bit of an extra bonus here on special teams if you're able to get a return. And then just, again, go back to what's been working all game long. Just keep running the football.
Ashton Taylor is going to have to really show out here in the final 9:45 of this first half. And like you said, I expect to see a lot of Ashton Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor and Tapasoa, I think you need to go a little bit of balance of that.
Yep.
You can do a little play action off of that, maybe try and get Taumapeo involved, but this is going to be a real rainbow of a kick.
As it was really nicely played.
Yeah, if Coach Ale had any hair, and he rocks the ball impressively well, but that would be the stuff that turns your hair gray, right? Because it is a high, slow kick, and you're just always worried about fielding those because they're not turning or rotating in the normal fashion.
But Mason Fa'amusili, nice job playing center field there, and again the wind took that one, but he right under it and covered that one up.
And Westlake with decent field position.
Yeah, from their own 28. You'll take it. 1st and 10. Brighton takes a snap, fires that one, and that's a complete pass.
Pass complete to
Jackson Lattimore.
And that's maybe the other options. They need to go to Lattimore. I believe that's his 2nd or 3rd catch of the game, but he's been a nice weapon for this Westlake offense. And look, they have a lot of talent at the receiver positions. I mentioned Taumapeo, Lattimore. You've got Johnson out there as well. He's a young player. And so you want to use it as much as you can, but at the same time, it's about finding that rhythm of running the ball and completing passes.
Breton going to take the shotgun snap again. He's going to hand that one off, and the Alta Hawks absolutely swarm Ashton Taylor.
I don't think the QB read is fooling anybody today. And so if you're Westlake on that play, maybe you're looking to bounce it outside a little bit more, or go back to the counter tray, or even just a simple outside zone on that one, because Alta's doing a really good job of bringing that defense and really stacking the balls.
Well, if you were a betting man, who would you bet was in on that tackle?
Well, I think there's one obvious answer, but also I need to shout out Benjamin Wollenberg because he's done a good job at that middle linebacker position, number 51. He's just a junior, I believe, but he is all over everywhere. He's jumping up to the line of scrimmage. He's trying to draw guys off sides. You can see that he's very exuberant in his actions. He does a great job of leading this defense.
Wollenberg, 2 sacks last game. And bringing it here tonight. Brighton takes the snap, floods pocket, throws, and caught.
Pass complete to number 14.
Number 14, Trayson Zoom. And I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of people just call him Zoom, by the way.
I think that's probably the easiest way. Like, completion to Zoom, that's a nice way to really makes it easy on us. But another good job by Noah Forbes out there, number 1. And Forbes is not, he's got a really lanky frame to him. I believe he is also just he's a senior. You can see the way he covers ground in this defense is from the outside linebacker. They call it an edge position, I guess, nowadays.
Yeah, Noah Forbes, 6'4", 178, as they're going to punt it away here on the 4th and long. Nice little punt. Down to the 26-yard line, and that is where the Alta Hawks will take over.
And you're for Westlake. It's going to be a real job to try and get that punt block rush stopped, because they almost got another one on that one. Able to get the ball away and flip the field, give this defense some room. And this is the problem where you have a positionally heavy team, right? So you've got a defensive heavy team here with Westlake. If they're relied upon to continually try and bail out the offense and get the ball back with any kind of confidence, it really drains that side of the ball. And so if they can get a 3 out here, get some better field position, that'll do a lot for the entire confidence of the team.
Brown takes a snap. He's going to hand off to Nolan Lonez, and good way to start for a 3 and out there.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you teach it right there. You want to string that play out and try and force the runner into the sideline. I call it the boundary. Coach Speak sometimes sticks with you no matter what. But good job by the defense there, stringing it out, getting guys to the point of attack, and it's a very minimal gain for Alta.
Well, Drayson Afuvai, really, really nice ball pursuit there, Brian Brown.
Yeah, and Afuvai is another one of those guys on this defense that you can highlight. Another one is Fano. He's a cousin to Logan and Spencer Fano, for those Utah fans that might be watching at home. But he is going to be a great player as well.
It's Tucker Brown again from the shotgun, and it's going to be a timeout for the Alta Hawks. Should we step aside? I think we should. All right, we're going to take a little break here. We'll be back as we get a timeout here with 6:47 in the second quarter. Mike Goodkind, Brian Brown from Westlake High in Saratoga Springs. Stay tuned, stay with us here on KSL Sports. We are back here from Saratoga Springs. Mike Goodkind alongside Brian Brown on a beautiful late summer evening here in Saratoga, as the Alta Hawks here up 10-0, and on a 2nd and long here from their own 26. Tucker Brown takes a snap and whistles again here. What is the call here?
I think we might get another false start here based on the clapping from the Westlake front 4. Talked about it earlier on the broadcast. With these younger teans, or these teams that really don't have established culture within the program, it's about minimizing those mental miscues.
Yeah, I mean, and that miscue leads to a 2nd and 15 for this Alta offense from their own 20. Like you said, quick 3 and out would be the best case scenario here for the Thunder. Here we go. Brown fires, and it was Evan Morton there, just through his hands. And I actually talked to Coach Burdett about Evan Morton. Evan Morton, a track star, set the school record for the 100-meter. And then they recruited him. They said, you got to come play football, and we'll work on your hands and bring you over here to the pigskin side. He committed, and last game had an amazing campaign last game. 6 receptions, 101 yards for Evan Morton. Again, track star, 2 touchdowns last game. Yeah.
And so that's the key for that Westlake defense, is keeping him in front of them and trying to get the ball out of his hands, because if he does catch it, he's a threat to score. As we see another run there for about 5 yards, and just, if you're sitting at home and you're thinking about Alta High School, who really do they have that could set a 100-meter record? Well, just Josh Davis and Sasan Chakran, 2 of the greatest running backs in high school football history. That's the kind of speed that he's going up against, and lo and behold, we got another flag.
We've seen a lot of yellow here, Brian Brown.
Yeah, and that's, listen, it's just a good reminder about love and positivity, and this one actually goes in favor of the Hawks, as it's going to be a 1st down. I believe that was an unsportsmanlike conduct there.
Wow, so there goes that 3 and out.
Yeah, and the Westlake faithful voicing their displeasure.
As a fresh new set of downs here. So the unsportsmanlike's going to bring them to the 40-yard line. And Tucker Brown really likes to see this. From the 40, they were at their own 20. They'll take it. Brown here sends McKay in motion. And they're going to bounce that one to the outside, but what a play from Beckham Featherstone. As really nowhere to go for Brock Russell.
2nd down.
Again, the front 7 for Westlake, so good. You see the pressure there from Fano on the backside. Forces it into his mate there, Featherstone. They were able to tackle it for a 5-yard loss. And look, as much as Alta wants to be able to throw the ball, they have to establish a ground game at some point. They're replacing a lot of talent up front, though, on the offensive and defensive side of the trenches.
Brown here again from the shotgun. As full play action. And he completes to Evan Morton for a 2-yard reception there.
And that's not a big play for Morton, but it's the kind of play you want to see him make. Secures the ball, gets upfield, takes the contact, goes down. Those are the plays that he has to make with regularity. The big plays will come naturally just because of his speed.
Well, and then again, a track star turned football player is a guy you just want to be able to catch the football, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Put him in positions that he can catch the ball, and like you said, he's off to the races once he finds some space.
Yeah, and a big part of it is learning to take contact, too, because that's a different part of this game for him.
Fortunately, we got some windscreens on our mics here as the wind picks up. Brown takes shotgun snap, fires that one, and that's caught by Mac McKay, breaks the tackle, and he is brought down at the 34-yard line. Matt McKay back in the mix.
And I apologize to the McKay family if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's been McKee or McKay all night long, but really all you need to know about it is that he's greatness. You see the quick little sidestep, avoids a second defender, able to get a few more yards, and that's an explosive play for the Hawks. Those are the kinds of things that really turn drives into touchdowns.
Matt McKay, love to see it, as they'll take over here from the opposite 34. Great field position again, handoff up the middle, and Nolan Lonez will take this to the 29-yard line.
And that's a good push up front by that offensive line. Really like that call after a big game because you're sucking wind a little bit if you're that Westlake defense. It's a big pursuit trying to get to the sideline. It's why making that first defender miss is such a critical play by McKay, because it forces that defense to pursue even more. Now you're seeing hands on hips, and that's a good sign for the Alta Hawks.
Oh, Tucker Brown here. Takes shotgun snap. Fires that one. Matt McKay makes the play over the middle and into the end zone for 6. Evan Morton, rather. Evan Morton into the end zone for 6 on the post route.
Evan Moore out there snatching souls, and you can see the speed on display as he slips in front of the defender, snatches the ball out, and it's nothing but pay dirt, and the Hawks are flying high, 16-0 pending the PAT.
Evan Morton, track star, turned football player, breaks this into a 16-0 game here.
Well, it speaks to Coach Burdett's dedication for this program that he's out there actively recruiting athletes from the school to go play football, and paid off big time for the Hawks there.
And the PAT from Jack McAllister is perfect, and it is a 17-0 game here.
Yeah, I want to emphasize, it's really impressive that McAllister's able to get so much leg into those kicks, because it is truly windy right now out here. And I know we keep saying that, but he has got a really strong leg.
He's been stellar tonight. A couple of PATs and a field goal, and a 36-yarder, not an easy one either, on a windy night here from Saratoga.
Yeah, I think the good news is the wind seems to mostly be directionally headed north, not a lot of side to side, and so if you're able to just have a strong enough leg to kick into it, that helps. And we'll see what happens here on the kickoff again, because earlier you kicked a really high one and it held up. We'll see if they try that again. Maybe hope that a Westlake receiving player struggles to secure the ball.
As Zach McAllister will kick it back off with some assistance here. Well, again, a windy night here. McAllister, this one back into the end zone, and we've seen nothing but touchbacks here tonight.
And if that was a chip shot, it would have been a hole right in the cup. Just a lob wedge right there and stuck right at the end line. Bounced forward a little bit, but again, the wind is playing a factor. We'll see what happens here with Westlake. Now they'll be throwing into the, or with the wind, I should say, coming out from the 20-yard line. I do wonder, though, if we don't see a little bit of a heavier dose of Taylor early on in the run game.
Ashton Taylor, again, last game, 213 yards. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, Brian Brown?
That's right. Well, and right now the biggest thing is that kids are going to try and press, and so you want to try and keep them calm You don't want to create more turnovers.
As he fires over the middle, bobbled, and without a fumble, or is that an incomplete pass? As it was Trace and Zoom on the catch and run. The question is, was that a fumble or an incompletion?
From where I saw it, looked like that was an incompletion. I never really saw the receiver secure the ball completely. Tried to make a football move. It does look like the Alta player recovered it. But no. Looks like Westlake was able to recover it, and they're going to call it a completion. So a favorable bounce here for the Thunder.
Trace and Zoom bailed out. Did you see who jumped on that one?
I wasn't able to see who came away from it there.
At the 35-yard line.
But I think the big news, Mike, is that it's a first down for Westlake and a little bit of luck going in their favor. And that's a big thing for an offense that seems to have come up against bad luck a lot early in this game.
Absolutely. Now here from their own 35, 1st and 10. Fresh set of downs, they'll take it. Brighton here in the shotgun snap. Takes a snap. He's got some time, but he's going to flood the pocket. Fires that one out of bounds. And it looks like he was looking for Jackson Lattimore.
That was thrown away.
Yeah, and he's looking for the right target because Lattimore's been great all game long. On that one, you almost want Balser to kind of test the defense a little bit and try and run there. At some point, he's going to have to use his legs. And so it's just up to debate. Do you want to use them early and try and suck defenders in, or do you want to use them later when they're dropping back expecting you to throw? It's kind of a chicken or the egg argument in that one. You know?
Yep. He's done a great job flooding the pocket, though, here tonight.
Yeah, he's got good pocket sense.
He does. Brighton fires. Ashton Taylor on the bubble screen. Breaks a tackle, and he's off to the 41-yard line.
Pass complete to Ashton Taylor.
And that's one of those plays. You can see the elusiveness from Taylor. He's able to make the first defender miss, but also a little bit of the inexperience, right? Has to reach back, secure the ball. So puts him a little bit behind schedule on the play. More experienced player is able to get his feet planted and get upfield a little bit quicker. It's not quite a first down. It's still a great play.
Like you said, a guy like Evan Morton, track star. You make that play, good hands, and he's off. Still a different story here with Westlake offense, but he takes the snap. He's going to flood the pocket, and nice play. What a play from number 78, Timmy Snell.
Westlake's quarterback brought down by number 78, Timothy Snell.
You see Snell wearing number 78, but he doesn't really fill out that jersey very much. But that guy has been active all game long, actively trying to pursue, and boy, Alta looks like they may be okay. There's a little bit of a snafu trying to get the right team on there in terms of getting the pump block on, and they've had a lot of success. So for Alta, you really want to get the right guys out there.
Well, earlier in the game, if you're just joining us, Alta did get their first touchdown off a block punt, which Matt McKay jumped on. That one bounces to the 15, and it was fielded
Runners brought down
by Russell
Finnegan Maurer.
And Finn Maurer, nice play.
Yeah, good job there by the coverage team. You always get a little nervous as a coach anytime you see those big bouncing kicks, because that's when things tend to go wrong on you. Guys misjudge stuff. I don't know about you, Mike. I wasn't much of a baseball player, but it's because I always struggled with the grounders. So good job by the Alta Hawks to secure it. Better job by Westlake to get the runner down, especially with a kick like that where it kind of outkicks the coverage.
I mean, well, the punt, too, took a Westlake bounce. And again, this is not the worst case situation for the Thunder. Is you got Alta at their own 18. Brown takes a snap, fires that one toward Morton, and it's picked off.
Pass complete for Westlake. First down.
Well, I like the thought there. I think that's our same guy out there, Finn Maurer.
I was confused there because the PA guy
Finn Maurer
really threw us off. He thought it was the completion as Finn Maurer picked it off.
Yeah, and just in our defense, the loudspeaker is literally right in our ears. And so, again, Finn Maurer Island is open for business. Get your stocks in. We'll take calls on the off the air afterwards. Get your shares. It's a great job. I like the call by the Hawks. Well, two things happened. One, the wind picked up and started to whip real bad right then. And two, Brown took a hit right to the chest as he released it, not allowing him to follow through. The ball floats on him just a little bit. I don't like this personal foul call. Again, love and positivity, whatever. The bigger story here, Finn Maurer,
man, what a play.
Just so impressive.
2 picks today.
Yeah, and a deflection earlier.
Yep.
He really has shut down that left side of the field.
1 pick last game, 2 today. He's got 3 on the season. As Brighton takes a snap, and that was nearly picked off by number 25, Riker Ellis. Tender for Johnson.
Yeah. You see Johnson, again, a young receiver there. He's got to learn how to go to the football on that and secure it, because the wind, the strength of which Balzer's throwing with, all of it's kind of under duress right now. So you got to help. It's the old Robert Griffin III,
yep.
HBO.
Help
a brother out.
Brian Brown with the references here tonight.
This is what I do.
Them,
Talk about food and drop a few references.
I'll take some food. I heard there's some fried chicken here tonight, by the way. Here's Ashton Taylor up the middle. And he keeps plugging away all the way to the first down marker. Ashton Taylor. Kid's a jackhammer.
He is. He bust out the thesaurus for Taylor. He's got me so tongue-tied with the way he's able to run. You know, a younger player, but the effort is there, and that ability to just keep your forward momentum going is huge. And Westlake finally across the 50-yard line. Haven't been since that first drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Finally into some Alta territory here. Brighton takes the shotgun snap, goes play action, and he was pursued. He breaks the tackle. He's going to have to fire that one out of bounds. He will.
Boy.
Oh, man.
It's a tale of 2 halves of the field, right? For the defensive, it's the defensive side for Alta. It's what might have been for the offensive side.
Ball thrown out of bounds.
Get Balzer a little piece of fried chicken for that one, because he turned chicken something into chicken salad. Great job by him to escape the rush, throw out, and just get rid of the football. I love watching players evolve during the game. That was a good moment of evolution for him.
Whereas, we talked about it earlier, 3 picks last game, 1 here tonight. How do you recover? You just said it.
Yeah, it is just, this is a game about learning at whatever level you're at.
And Brighton can't avoid it that time as Trevin Cook, the middle linebacker, up the pipe, makes a nice play.
Yeah, and Alta's found something off the edge a little bit here. They're bringing multiple defenders, really confusing that Westlake front. And I love that you have confidence in your throw game, and I know you want to get your receivers involved, but on that one, you went from a good field position, good field standing, to now, I believe we're 3rd and 20.
So we're 3rd and forever.
Yeah, 3rd and a mile. Pick your announcer cliche on that one. And I don't want to be critical of coaching staffs or play calls or anything like that, but we've seen what a good job Taylor's done in the run game. You can't hand it off every play. So some of that is just, this is what you have to iron out if you're Westlake, in terms of getting your offensive line to read, react, and recognize what's happening defensively.
What do you think you do here 3rd and long? Maybe just hand it off, go conservative? I mean, you got 58 seconds left.
I mean, that's the initial thought process, but really you kind of played it dangerously with the punt game as well. So I almost say you take a shot, see what you can get for Lattimore. If you can get some protection either on a boot to that boundary side, so you get Balzer throwing and into his throwing hand, so he can get a little more oomph on that ball.
Brighton takes shotgun snap. Defense comes again. He gets it off to Taylor. And Taylor makes a move, and it's a gain of 10.
And that's also the ever sturdy standby is the screen pass, right? Gets you a 10-yard gain. 11-yard gain. So
back to the original line of scrimmage. Balls.
Excuse me. Looks like I was down ahead. So now you're 3rd and 9.
So 3rd and 9, yeah. Brighton takes a snap, fires this one deep down the field. It's incomplete.
Pass intended
as they try to rush that play.
18, Britton Johnson
was the intended target there, but
yeah, good defense there by Riker
I thought
Ellis.
it was 4th down too. Brian Brown.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I guess
it was 4th down.
Yeah,
there we go.
So Westlake calling 2 plays off the timeout. I get it. I don't know that I necessarily want to take a shot like that on 4th down, but with
I think they're saying there's 40 seconds left.
Yeah, and really, I think maybe the bigger danger is punting the ball in that respect, because you've had so much struggle with it.
Yep. On a windy night like this, I don't think you want to take a chance, you know?
Yeah, well, and look, Westlake's got to be aggressive right now. They're down 17-0, so luckily we have the advantage of talking it out on the air and thinking about it. These coaches have to decide that stuff in split seconds.
On the fly, yep. Tucker Brown from the shotgun hands that off to Nolan Lonez. He spins out of a tackle and breaks to the 50-yard line.
And for Alta, I mean, it's an even more advantageous position. You've got a 17-point lead. There's no reason to take any risks, especially after throwing an interception the previous series.
Clock ticking down to 8. And they're going to hand it off to Nolan Lonez again. He is brought down at the 50-yard line.
Ball run again by Nolan Lonez.
And that should do it.
Brought down by
Nusi, a guy, by the way, who I know Coach Burdett said to look out for as we hit 000s here. Not sure what they're doing on the field, but
we'll let the officials figure that one out. But to your point, Nusi is a very talented football. Again, mentioned that he is committed to Stanford and former Pac-12 school, now ACC school. Means he's an intelligent football player as well. You know, you see what he did on that play, able to get Alta off the field and get Westlake into the locker room where they get a chance to get their composure.
Is it fried chicken time?
I hope so, man.
I think it is.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the one benefit to the wind, right? You keep smelling that.
Brian Brown and I are going to go grab some grub. We will see you on the other side here to start the second half. Stay tuned. Mike Goodkind, Brian Brown, and our camera guy is doing a great job. What's your name again, sir? Sayer Nielsen doing a great job on camera. We love you. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you at the top of the second half. Coming up next. We are coming at you from the booth, Saratoga Springs, Utah, on a beautiful late summer evening. We got the man, Brian Brown, high school football aficionado. I'm Mike Goodkind, and solid first half, 17-0 out to lead. But on the Westlake side, the man, Finn Maurer, has been bailing him out.
Yeah, it's the establishment of Maurer Island, which you mentioned early on in the broadcast. It's really saved Westlake as he's caused 2 turnovers, kept this game marginally closer on the scoreboard as it sits currently with Alta holding a 17-0 advantage over Westlake. And Maurer has really been the star of the show, which, considering Ashton Taylor, Lucy Talmapeo, so many other players, really impressive for him to put his mark on this game early on.
Now, 17-0 hole. What does Brighton need to do to get the ball in the air, make some completions here, and get back in this game?
Well, really for Balzer, it's about settling down and getting on platform. And we talk about it a lot during the game. You want to be strong in the pocket. You want to establish your position so you can drive those balls with the wind whipping. And our viewers at home can finally see it now. He's got to be able to get those passes in those tight windows to his receivers, but also a continuation of what we saw from him, where he continues to throw those balls away and get away from the rush without causing a critical play.
Now, on the other end, it's been Evan Morton, it's been Matt McKay, and it's been all Alta Hawks.
It has been, and I think you need to get them more involved in the offense, whether it's through shorter passes or maybe some reverses, or a little bit of, we'll call it razzle-dazzle in the run game where you get them going on some jet sweeps or whatever. If you can get the ball in their hands. Now, McKay did a lot of Wildcat last year. I wonder if maybe Alta tries to go to that if things get a little tight. As is, really, they just want to try and maintain that lead and build as much as possible, so they're going to want to secure the ball. The best way to do that is to get it in the hands of your playmakers.
And lastly, out the gates here, what are you expecting from Westlake?
Well, from Westlake, I think they're going to start out and really try to fight their way back into this. Off the top of my head, I don't remember who gets the ball. I believe it is Alta that'll get the ball at halftime. So it's up to that front 7 for Westlake to put the pressure on, to attack the quarterback, try and get the ball back quickly, and give your offense a good field position so they can go back to what they did at the start of the first half, driving the football, getting down into scoring position. It's easy to forget that at the start of this game, Westlake had the ball at the 6-yard line going in to score, and it was that Alta special teams unit, which we can't underline that enough, that's really flipped the course of this game.
Turn the momentum here. You got to shift that momentum. And if you're Westlake and you're Coach Ale, what's the play here you think on the kickoff, do you maybe go for an onside kick, or do you play more conservative, play defense, hopefully get the ball back on a 3-and-out?
You know, you're coming out of the locker room kicking with the win, so I don't know that you want to go onside necessarily. There's so much variables. You don't want to give this Alta team that field position, but I do think early on you want to set a tone. So whether it's heavy blitzing for the first couple of plays, or if you try to directionally kick it, do anything you can to try and catch Alta off guard. Remember, this is the Hawks' first time playing with the lead, really. They didn't have one for the entirety of the Juan Diego game, and so you're looking to do something to get them out of their comfort zone.
Okay, we'll see what happens here. We're going to pan over to the game here. Our man Sawyer panning over to the game, doing a great job. Sawyer, you're doing a great job. We love you here. KSL Sports, we have the second half for you if you're watching. I know we got some viewers on the East Coast watching us, which is great. I know my old man might be watching, Peter Goodkind. I know Anthony Ayaculo out there in New Jersey watching. We got some East Coasters here joining us in Utah.
That's the beauty of the Rewind Sports Network. We are all over the place. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody able to tune in. That's why we love to do this, Mike, right? A chance to give these kids an opportunity to shine. And for us, you're a young buck in this game. You got a bright future. For me, I just don't have anything better to do on a Friday night.
Brian, we're getting you out to Green Bay. I'm telling you right now. We got to have you in every NFL game Sunday night. I mean, why not? Oh. We're good. We got rosters all over here, folks. It's a windy night, and I just threw Brian's rosters all over the place.
The good news is we do have a nice setup. So the fun part about getting to work with different people for Rewind, and last week I worked with Alex Napoulos, you always have a different setup and learn something new from everybody that you work with. And tonight we're up on top in the elements, as they say. Last weekend we were inside the booth.
As Lorenzo Augusto, nice little kickoff here to start the second half on the run back, and nice room to run as they get it to the 37-yard line.
And I apologize to the viewers at home. It looked like earlier on the fields were going to be flipped, so that does give Alta good field position there. And
by Alta placed at
the weather is having an impact. It may not be the deciding factor in the game, but it does influence those decisions. And really the big influence has been Alta's special teams unit. Done a great job of putting them in great position, whether it's blocking kicks, punts, returning blocked punts for touchdowns, or putting them in great field position.
Tucker Brown here, back in the shotgun snap. Solid second game from him. He hands this one off. Lonez up the middle, and it's a gain of about 3.
And you see number 87 there, Beckham Featherstone, helping occupy multiple blockers there. Sometimes it's not the guy who makes the tackle that deserves the shine. On that one, you're allowing your brother next to you to make the play. Great job there by Featherstone.
Featherstone's been very active today, Brian Brown.
Yeah, he's going to be another great star on this defense. Like I said, Westlake has a lot of talent.
Alonez here cuts that one to the 41 on second down.
And like we talked about coming in from halftime, Alta trying to establish some possession-type football here. Blake Burdett played under Urban Meyer. Kyle Whittingham was his defensive coordinator. He understands how to call a game and how to influence a game where you're just playing with the lead and playing from ahead. He did it a lot for that 2004 Utah football team.
As it looks like Tucker Brown drew the defense offside.
Flag on the play, offsides, Westlake.
Yes.
Something they've been trying to do all game, Mike. And it finally goes in their favor. It looked like the earlier attempts at it, they actually jumped off on their own side of the ball rather than trying to draw the Westlake defense off.
Question is, was it a first down? It looks like they're going to rule it a first down. It'll be a fresh set of downs here for the Hawks.
We're not quite to the point where we have a camera system here like the UFL and the NFL have. Still using the old chain gang.
I like the old chain gang, man. Here we go. Lonez finds some space, and he gets to the 49-yard line.
Yeah, in a world of AI and online internet, everything, it's nice to have something physical out there still. Chain gang, a little bit of throwback football there, right?
Keep them around, man. I love the chain gang.
Especially at the high school level. It's one of those thankless jobs that you have a volunteer from the family or the booster club that does it every game. So
it's fun, man. It's an active job. You get your steps in being chain gang, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Brown takes a snap, avoids pressure, throws deep, and out of the reach.
Pass incomplete.
Number 18 rather.
Brings up third down.
Trevor Fabrizio.
Yeah, Fabrizio had a couple early catches, trying to catch a defender, sleeping on that one. And again, Brown just a little overthrown, throwing out of this end zone into the wind. And once you get those balls going up a little bit higher like that, it can be really hard to judge, especially for a young quarterback, just how much oomph you need to put into it.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 5 from the 49. Takes the snap, fires, and that's a first down and more, but what a hit.
Pass complete for an Alta first down, brought down by Jordan Fairbanks.
As
Jordan Fairbanks with a tackle there, and what a good job he does in that play. Able to go low on the Alta offensive player. I think that was Fabrizio.
yeah, Trevor Fabrizio, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to hold on to the ball though. Not an easy play.
He does come from a football family, and you can see the genes there.
As the rush up the middle, and Lones is stuffed at around the line of scrimmage. I'm gonna mark this at the 40. And kind of an awkward position here. We got 2 downs left. If they don't get the first, do you go for it on 4th here? I mean, I know it's only 2nd down, but
you're in a little bit of no man's territory or no person's territory here. But with that wind blowing, it really makes it hard to pin him back, right? So yep. I think to your point, this is that area where you think about going for it. 17-point lead. Your defense has played well.
All right, here we go. Brown from the shotgun. Play action. Fires that one, and it was nearly picked off.
Pass broken up by Lennox Dave.
I bet you Lennox wishes he could have that one back. Let's run his in.
That's one of those plays that people always love to say, well, that's why he plays defense. But it's such a bang-bang action. And you can see how tight the window is. It's really tough for a defender on the move to not only track a ball, but get in front of it, catch it, secure it, and head the other direction. It's a lot to work through. The good news for Westlake, it's an incompletion, and it puts Alta into 3rd and long.
All right, like you said, is it 4 down territory? We'll see. From the 40. Brown takes the snap. Fires, and this one caught by Fabrizio, and he is going to be just short of the first down.
And we're just a shade under 9 minutes here in the game at 8:50 left to play. And I think, given where the ball is located there at the 32-yard line, you're 4th and 2, 4th and 3. It looks like they bumped it back to the 33. Or maybe I just can't see. Either one. I think Alta's going to go for it.
I mean, you're 4th and short. Why not?
Yeah.
You
know? To your point, this is no person's land right here.
Right. I mean, a 44-yarder from here. Not easy. No, what would it be? It would be a little more than that. Here we go. Handoff, play action. And looks like that was tipped, but intended for McKay.
Yeah, looks for your best target there, but a great job by Salifano to get a hand on it, deflect the pass. It falls incomplete. To your point, Mike, we've seen McAllister kick the ball with authority earlier, but this wind has started to go directionally a little bit. And with 40 yards, as you can see, we can see the flags whipping back and forth now. That's just so much margin for error from 40 yards. We like the play call there, but a great job by that Westlake defense to get a stop. Now, they've got to get the offense to get going.
Westlake here from their own 32, fresh set of downs. Can they cut back into this one? 17-0 lead here, hands off. Oh, what a play, Ashton Taylor. Keeps moving those legs, and he breaks in for a first down.
Yeah, it's the vision for me every single time. He reads, finds the hole, reacts well. Good job of cutting back. He is a taller running back, Mike, so as he learns to get his pad level lower, he's going to turn that 10-yard gain into a 15 and a 20-yard. But nevertheless, just an impressive effort from him.
Well,
been a workhorse, too.
Ashton Taylor, just a sophomore, 6 foot 180. You put another 10, 15 on him, he's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, by the time he's a senior, he's going to be an all-state.
As Brighton avoids the sack and rushes for a gain of 3.
Gotta give a ton of credit to this Alta defense. They've done a great job of putting pressure on. You see balls are able to escape, pick up positive yards, but they are really pressuring the quarterback, and rightfully so. The wind is picking up again, and so it's going to make it hard to throw the ball through the air, especially if you want to try and get Lattimore and Johnson involved in some of those deeper throws.
You know, after this play, I'll explain more, but kind of feel like we're doing a Vince Scully's first ever game. There's a story behind that, and I'll explain. Handoff to Ashton Taylor. Ashton Taylor cuts back, and another big run for the sophomore as he fights his way for another first down.
And one of those things you look for when you're scouting running backs is that ability to fall forward. And on that play, you see Taylor falls forward for the first down after the pickup. And this is the kind of drive that Westlake needed. A good, rounded out, sustained possession type of drive.
That Vince Scully story, man, I gotta explain that one to you. You're probably confused right now.
I'm excited more than anything. I love Vince Scully.
Great defensive coverage as Taylor is dropped by Bennett Coaster, the middle linebacker.
And the entire Alta Hawks defense, right?
So they may have lost to 6 there, Brian Brown, maybe 5. And they'll place him at the 49. It's going to be a second and long.
And for Alta, this is what you want to try and get Westlake in, is these second and long situations where they look to throw the football, because they've been having success on the ground early on. I actually would stick with the ground game here. It does look like we have a new running back in there.
See what they do here. Takes shotgun snap, goes play action, fires that one. It's a little low. It was behind the line of scrimmage, as Lattimore was the intended target. Lattimore jumped right on it. I think Lattimore thought it might have been
lateral.
A lateral, exactly. So he jumped on it. Smart play.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed by the junior wide receiver. He's done everything tonight. He blocks well. Very savvy play right there, just in case. Secured, I think, 3 catches so far this game. We'll get our official statistician on that. That's a joke for the folks at home. We don't have an official statistician.
If we did, it would make our job a little easier.
The broadcast we could have.
Oh, absolutely. Takes a snap, and he is dropped in the backfield. And who was it? It was number 1, Noah Forbes. He's been active tonight.
Noah Forbes is a really impressive player. He's got a great frame for the position. Hasn't quite filled it out yet, but you can see the pursuit and the effort that he plays with. No better head coach to have than Blake Burdett. A Kyle Whittingham disciple understands how critical it is to put pressure on the quarterback.
So that sack brings them to their own 45, and it's going to be a 4th and forever. And Augusto back to punt here. Augusto boots this one. Some resistance from the wind, and that is going to take a nice little Westlake bounce to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, the play started off with all the potential for a disaster. You got a personal protector running on late. Luckily, Alta just takes the punt, no real rush on it. So Westlake able to get it away, but it's a high kick, so not a lot of distance. And this Westlake defense, which did such a good job at the start of the second half, back out there again trying to force another stop.
Tucker Brown comes back out. He's had a pretty good game tonight. Brown from the shotgun, now empty backfield. He's going to fire over the middle, and fumble. He fumbled the football, and it's picked up by Jordan Fairbanks.
Ball's back loose, picked up by Westlake.
Great play by Jordan Fairbanks.
Phenomenal play. Great job there on the tackle. The receiver not able to maintain the ball. And a big, big break for this Westlake Thunder football team. That defense has come to play tonight. Let's hope the offense straps it up.
That's
the same here.
First down to Alta's.
Fabrizio just kind of hit right as he caught the football.
You get twisted in those funny positions, and you talk about Brown. He's done a really good job tonight. But that's going to be his evolution as a quarterback. Getting that ball into the window where it doesn't put his receiver in a disadvantaged position.
Brighton from the shotgun hands that off. Flags fly as Ashton Taylor
flag on the play.
Maybe 1.
Yeah, another one of those too much hugging penalties. Even from a guy like me that loves to defend the big guys up front, that one was pretty potent takedown.
So it'd be a 2nd and 20. Or 1st and 20, right? You don't lose it down. 1st and 20. I'm going to put this at the 41.
And I'm trying to remember if that's a spot foul
rather.
at the high school level or not. I do believe it's from the line of scrimmage. So thankfully for Westlake, it could have been worse. But it does put him at 1st and 20 there with 4:49 left to play. And I apologize to the folks at home. We don't have an active clock on the broadcast tonight, but we will try and keep you updated on the clock situation.
I'll be more active with that. We got first in a marathon here. Keep them coming, Brian Brown. Here we go, a shotgun snap for Brighton, and that was an offside. It looks like they're going to get Trace and Zoom. Just jumped off a little early there.
Trying to get a good start there, and I mean, he didn't look like he was the only one.
Westlake, 5-yard penalty.
Again, those mental miscues are the things that you really want to try and minimize.
Still first down, balls placed.
You can see the coaches. That's when they do their cross their arms and put their heads down. You see them grumbling on the sidelines. I just hate those kind of penalties as a coach.
That's tough, man. Now we got a 2nd and 25, or 1st and 25 rather. Brighton takes a snap. Brighton draws back to pass, has time, fires that, and completes it for a gain of 15 and more. And that was a nice play.
I believe that was Lattimore again.
Yep, it was Jackson Lattimore.
If the whistle hadn't have bailed him out, it looks like he'd broken loose again from the Alta Hawks defense. Was poised ahead of the end zone. You know, we saw a great wide receiver in Jerome Miles last night for Corner Canyon. I tell you what, there's a lot of good football players in this state, and Lattimore, another one of those ones that just seems like he's being overlooked.
Jackson Lattimore just exposed the defense, and that cover 6 there.
Yeah.
I don't know, was that a cover 6?
It's hard to tell these days.
Throws that one over the middle, and that is completed again.
Pass complete
to Lennox.
Now.
Boy, you talk about unexpected. Yeah, you talk about unexpected plays. That's a great job by this Westlake offense, and really it's Jackson Lattimore that pulled him out of it. Right, puts in the extra effort on that play, gets him into a good position, able to complete the 8-yard catch on the next play, and now you've got a first down. Now you're back on schedule. You're back into your offense.
Yep. Well, yeah, 3:14 to go here, and it was 2nd and 25. You got a fresh set of downs here from the opposite 38. What do you think they do here?
I mean, it's got to be Taylor or maybe a quick pass. We'll see what happens here.
Brighton takes shotgun snap, play action, fires over the middle. Oh, what a hit. But a nice completion. As right now we were trying to figure out who made that play. Must have got the wind knocked out of him, though.
I think that was our guy number 51 at linebacker there for the Alta Hawks.
Pass complete to
just sometimes you're a statue in the right place at the right time. And, you know, it's really hard on those quick-hitting plays where you're trying to get that action, that play action early on, but also hit the slant route. You see that there's a Westlake player down here.
Trace and Zoom, though, way to hold on to the football there. It's going to be a gain of, it's like 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, it keeps you on schedule, and I think, you know, sometimes you see those kinds of passes and you wonder, why would you throw for 3 or 4 yards? But the bigger thing is it just keeps you on schedule, but also it keeps that playbook nice and wide open. You can run the ball here, you can throw it, look for a screen pass. Just gives you a lot of different options, and when you're calling plays, it's really tough to get boxed into a corner where there's only 1 or 2 things that you can do.
Well, now here you go. You got a 2nd and 6, 2:40 to go. I think you got to go toward the end zone here at some point, Brian Brown.
And you struggled last time getting in the red zone, so I don't hate the idea of taking a shot as we see Zoom go to the sideline. It does look like he's a little gimpy, but I think he'll be okay.
All right, here we go. Brighton from the shotgun, and they're bringing blitz. Brighton is in trouble. He just has to throw it away. And question is, are they going to call grounding? Yes, they will. I mean, intentional grounding.
Flag on the play.
That's a tough one. It looked like a jailbreak is what it looked like.
Yep, they just unleashed, man.
Yeah, and so missed assignments all over the place. Looked like maybe some miscommunication as well. So that's going to be grounding. And in some respects, you like the effort from your quarterback trying to make a play. I don't know where the running back was. It looked like they were trying to run some sort of screen, but just didn't work out on that one. And now you've really pinned yourself back in a bad hole.
And we just had a 2nd and 6. And this is going to be
intentional grounding. Call against Westlake.
This is your marathon again.
This is a marathon, man. I mean, can you even count the yardage here? It's got to be like
we're second
3rd and 27.
We're second in East Coast at this point.
Yeah.
So.
This is a 2nd and East Coast. Here we go. Brighton again from the shotgun. From their own 44. Brighton takes a snap. Fires to Lattimore. Lattimore breaks. And he gets to the 49-yard line, back into Alta territory.
Pass complete to Jackson.
Well, get ready for me to gush again, because Jackson Lattimore, he gets up and he's frustrated. He wanted more, and he's tapping his chest saying, that was my bad. You could see he felt like he had open field there. Now, the Alta Hawk defense did a good job of closing quickly, and I think that they were okay with giving him up a few yards, but I just love that kind of response from a kid like Lattimore, who's already had a great game. In some respects, you can say that it's been he and Taylor that have really helped carry this team.
And Finn Maurer.
Yeah. How do you forget about Maurer Island?
That punt takes an Alta bounce. And it was covered up by Trace and Zoom, and it's going to be Alta football at the 35.
Yeah, the wind really playing a factor on that one. Normally those high arching punts are tough for a returner to field, and especially in the lights, it's easier to lose those balls. At this point in time, it's almost a detriment. You kind of want to wonder if the punter has something like a directional kick in his bag. At this level, it's kind of hard to say.
And Tucker Brown inherits a 1st and 10 from their own 35. He's going to send Lonas in motion, and some more yellow flags. Going to be another false start.
That's been really one of the few miscues that Alta's had all game long. Is they, for whatever reason, they've struggled with the snap count. And interesting that they wanted to start out throwing the football there on 1st and 10, maybe trying to catch this Westlake defense off guard a little bit. Westlake was ready for it as they had the rush on.
Tucker Brown again. We haven't seen one player under center here tonight.
Yeah, for the people who love the throwback stuff, you're not going to see as much of that at this level, and we're going to get that 5 yards right back as they get Westlake defender there to jump. So now it's a little bit of a back and forth, but to your point, I think offenses here become so dependent on the run game, and the advantage of the threat of the QB run that sometimes you forget going under center can work really effectively. Well, and some of these teams, it's just really hard because you don't have a tight end as well, right?
Takes snap. Brown avoids pressure, throws in the direction of Matt McKay, but incomplete.
And he had McKay out there. Ball just floats on him a little bit, and that's, again, one of those young quarterback throws right there where you're just not quite on platform, able to drive the ball, so you throw it out there, just trying to drop it in a window, and as Brown evolves, he's going to learn to throw that with a little bit more authority and really get it into McKay's hands, because once he gets the ball secured, then he's a real danger to this defense because he can make defenders miss either with his strength or with his agility.
By the way, we may or may not be getting a player up here for postgame, just to let you know, Brian Brown. And it might be Matt McKay.
I believe they call it a teaser in the business. So.
Here we go. Throw screen to the man, Matt McKay. And he breaks up the field. That looks like it's going to be a first down to the 46-yard line.
Well, you saw both on display on that one as he's able to juke the defender originally and then fights forward for the first down, able to reach out. Smart, savvy play by McKay. No surprise. He's been doing it all day.
Another first down for the Alta Hawks. And here they are from the 46. 1:15 and ticking. Sawyer doing a tremendous job on camera for us tonight. Also running the scoreboard. We appreciate him and all his help here with KSL. Does a great job for us. As we got some whistles here, and what is the call here?
Timeout, Alta.
Timeout, Alta. with 50 seconds on the clock, Brian Brown.
And here we are, set up 1st and 10. Alta just trying to make sure, again, with 50 seconds left in the third, it's about possessing the football. It's been a back-and-forth game, but not with a lot of real movement on the scoreboard. It's still 17-0. And for Alta, it's about let's not make the big mistake here, right? So make sure you get everybody settled down. You've had a couple, we'll call them unstable plays there with a false start and some kind of miscues. So get your offense calm down. For Westlake, it's about getting a stop, right? You had an advantageous one on the previous drive where they were able to get the strip and recover the fumble. Now you just want to be aggressive and try and get a stop here.
The Hawks from the 46, and if you're Westlake here, you can't really hang your heads. You're down 17-0. You still got a fresh 12 to go here with the fourth quarter coming up. I mean, high school football, anything can happen.
Yeah, 100%. And there's plenty of time, left in this game for anything to happen, like you said.
As Brown fires intended for Evan Morton, and that would have been 6.
Yeah, you can see that speed from Morton, right? He's already breaking away from the defender, and with repetition, that'll come. He and Brown will get on the same page. They'll start to link up a little bit more, and Morton will become a legitimate threat. But it's just the physical talent that he has really puts him in an advantage out here.
And he's just a junior, Brian Brown, so give this kid one more year and maybe get some offers as well.
And track speed and football speed are two different things. You can learn football speed. He's already got track speed.
Was that another false start?
Flag.
I would agree.
I think it is. The quarterback's doing a tremendous job of cadence. That's all I can think of here tonight, Brian.
Yeah.
These cadences are just on. They're doing a great job with the cadence.
Well, the clapping and some of that stuff that goes on too. You see how hard it is for college and NFL players to be disciplined within it. It's even harder for high school players. They're doing a good job of manipulating the defense using the cadence. And the other thing too is Westlake has really got their ears pinned back. They're trying to make something happen. They feel that clock ticking. There's only 45 seconds left in the third, but
it's gonna be a 2nd and 5 here with 45 seconds left. Brown from the shotgun. Brown takes the snap, goes play action, fires, and that is caught for a first down by none other than, I believe that was Matt McKay, trying to see in the scrum there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it was Matt McKay, just the way he fell forward.
Yep, it was.
Number 8 has done a great job of moving those sticks and move those chains. You talk about Morton, he's just got explosive speed, right? So he's a real threat to turn any play into a touchdown. Matt McKay is just reliable as can be. The term possession receiver comes up a lot. I like to call those guys tone setters because they move the sticks, they do the dirty work, and McKay does it both with his speed, his agility, and his strength.
Matt McKay has, obviously, like you said, just one touchdown here tonight on a blocked field goal touchdown.
At the end of the third quarter.
You got Morton with the other one, and then the field goal. That gets you to 17 here for the game tonight, Mike. And but I think what's been unique is you've seen McKay impact the game through a variety of ways, right? It's been short receptions that he's broken for big gains. It's been those sticks routes where you run beyond the sticks so you can get the first down. So he's been a great, reliable option for a young quarterback in Brown. And you see here as Westlake takes a timeout. Kind of an interesting call. I don't know if it was that they were misaligned or if they were worried about something, but trying to get it all talked over here.
All right, here we go. 28 seconds left here. 1st and 10 from the Westlake 39. And are we seeing under center now? Okay, first under center play of the game. No, never mind. Tucker Brown shifts back into motion. And Brock Russell comes into the backfield. Brown takes the snap, fires, and that's caught by Fabrizio for a gain of 6.
A nice job of securing the football. You can see how hard to throw some of those wide out routes are, right? Like, it's a lot of distance the ball has to travel to get the receiver.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our attention
and on
to the
that
20-yard
note,
line to recognize
that'll end the third quarter.
That's it.
Conference players.
We will step aside here. Mike Goodkind, Brian Brown from Saratoga Springs. Fourth quarter, Friday Night Lights here from the state of Utah. Stay tuned. We're back here with KSL Sports. Friday Night Lights. Mike Goodkind, Brian Brown, week 2 here of 6A football.
Yeah, and good to see the injured Alta player able to make it off the field under his own power. And that was Benjamin Wollenberg who's injured on that one. Going both ways tonight for Alta. It's tough to see number 51 go down.
As clock runs again here with 11:47 and counting. And Brown takes shotgun snap, fires over the middle, and that is caught by none other than Matt McKay at the 29-yard line. Looks like it should be a first down, and it will be.
And good job there by McKay, able to secure the ball and more importantly, move the chains. And Alta's finding some rhythm here with this offense. Biggest thing is that they're just milking that clock right now, and you can feel kind of a little bit of desperation setting in now for Westlake.
It's Tucker Brown from the shotgun again. He's got Nolan Lonez in the backfield with him. Takes a snap, goes play action, fires that one left. Matt McKay makes the play, and he is dropped out of bounds at the 24. But Matt McKay.
Pass complete. Flag on the play.
Another flag, though. Was that a holding call? Another hug?
My heart says no. My head says maybe. You see one of the Westlake
players. You don't like
players.
a hug, man.
Yeah, listen, like I get it. Some people don't want to hug sometimes, so you need to make sure that you clarify ahead of time. You know, we're in a new day and time.
It's got to be. You got to get consent on the hug.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
And it looks like this was a personal foul, anyways, against Westlake. So.
And that is going to take Alta to all the way to the 12-yard line, and in another really good position here as roughing the passer is the call.
15-yard penalty, ball be placed at the 12-yard line. First down.
Brighton in danger of being down 24-0 here.
Yeah, Westlake is up against their own end zone here, as you mentioned, and really Alta is controlling the ball and the game.
Brown again from the shotgun, sends Lonez in motion, fires that one over the middle. Nice play, as the intended target was Evan Morton, but Caleb Isaacson, good coverage, my friend.
Yeah, and they're starting to recognize what's going on, where they run that kind of skinny, it's almost like a skinny post, kind of a slant route there, and their defenders learn throughout the game, right? That he's got that speed, and so the angles that you take in order to stay in front of him, what's starting to pay off now for Westlake.
Well, that anxiety and those butterflies must kind of calm down, too, by the third, fourth quarter, right? You're able to kind of play more freely.
It's only the second game this season, and it does take a little while to get used to players that you've only seen on film.
Brown takes snap, fires toward the end zone, nearly picked off by
Pass incomplete. Brings up third down.
Lennox Nea again, and Lennox Nea not happy about that.
Yeah, you can see that he felt there was an opportunity to intercept that one, and Brown looking for McKay, some kind of miscommunication. It didn't look like everybody was on the same page, not just QB wide receiver, but even up front. Brown was feeling the pressure early on.
Brown kind of just took the snap. It was like a pop pass and just threw it toward the end zone. And Lennox Nea was really the only guy in the area. And this Westlake crowd getting back into it. Brown fires to Morton again. Flags fly. Was that a PI?
Pass broken up again by Caleb Isaacson. Flag on the play.
I think we're going to get offsetting penalties on this one, too, as it looked like, I believe that was Morton on the far side of the field. A little demonstrative. Felt like he had been held. Celebrated the penalty, and
hey, we want to give a shout out to Tiffany and
you see the officials there
tonight. When you get a chance, I want to
consulting with one another as to how to figure this one out, but again, you see the speed of Morton, the threat that he is. It's really, really hard for defenders to keep in front of that. And so you reach around a little bit as you're trying to knock that ball away. Flag gets flown. But the other part of it is learning to stay in control as a player and not be too demonstrative in your celebration.
Yep.
Which, look, I get why officials want to do that. We want to teach sportsmanship and everything like that. And so sometimes you have to have a little bit of a heavy hand with it. I don't necessarily like it because I want these kids to feel emotion and to celebrate and things like that.
He's going to bring him to the fall. Where are they going to put this here? The referees are going to have to reevaluate.
Pass interference, Westlake. Personal foul against Alta.
Wow, looks like the ball's being put out at the 20. What's going on here? We thought it was pass interference.
Well, it's a costly penalty because I believe and somebody at home may correct me, a spot foul there on the pass interference. And then you have the dead ball foul, which was after the fact.
Got it. Okay.
So that moves the ball back quite a bit.
Not happy if you are Coach Blake Burdett of Alta.
He's not, and you know, I can understand why he isn't happy and why he's having that conversation with the officials. I think the bigger part of the problem is that your offense is now 3rd and 16 when it was threatening to score. And so Westlake going to take a timeout here, try and make sure that they get a stop here because this is turning into one of those key plays of the game.
As Westlake calls timeout, and the student section here is singing a song that came out when they were like 3 years old.
Some of these kids, I wonder if they were even born anymore. But they are dressed head to toe in their USA apparel. It must be a red, white, and blue or a USA Pride game. Great showing by this Westlake student section. And you know, even more impressive might be the Westlake band. It's as good a band as I've seen in the high school
They
level.
really are, man. Well, you know, I grew up in New York, and in New York, we don't really have bands for football games. That's not a thing. Mm-hmm. Especially, I went to a smaller prep school. We definitely didn't have a band. We barely had water coolers, so you know.
Yeah. The East Coast West Coast difference is substantial, but this band is super impressive. One of the best, if not the best, in the state. I know recently they did a fundraiser to raise funds to try and get their own semi because of all the competitions that they travel to. And it's a joy to come out and watch these games. And you know, if you're not able to make it out to the games, we appreciate everybody at home tuning in and watching here on KSL Sports Rewind. But if you can get out, go see your local high school football game and stream us in the meantime.
Please do. Please do. Here we go. Brown takes a snap, fires again towards the end zone, and it was nearly picked off by Lennox Nea.
Yeah, good job there by the Westlake defense to just bat that one down. You don't need to make the interception because you're going to put them in 4th and long. And, you know, we've seen McAllister have a pretty good leg, but he'll be kicking into the wind on this one. And, again, this wind has started to move back and forth a little bit more. So you kind of worry about him, and especially being, it looks like a left-footed kicker kicking from a left hash.
Yep. It's going to be a 37-yarder here, too, Brian Brown. Not an easy kick on a winning night. 38-yarder. Here we go. Snap is good, kick is up, and it is no good. Wide right.
And a good job there by the Westlake block team as they put in the pressure from that left side. And see Nusi Talmapeo a little slow to get up, but you know, we use a lot of metaphors and adjectives in this game.
Westlake's ball at the 20.
The word warrior does come to mind when you think about Nusi. He's just been an absolute stud today. But the bigger news, Mike, is that Westlake has the ball back. And again, still plenty of time with 10:24 left at their own 20-yard line to get a score.
What's the play here? Do you go to the air right away, Brian? Or
I kind of feel like a shot is the way to go. We saw it work in the first quarter. It's been a while since they've really taken one.
Let's see. Brighton Bolzer from their own 20. Brighton takes a snap. Got flags flying. Looks like it might be an offside on the defense. Fires and into the dirt. Intended target was Britton Johnson.
And you can see there was
offside?
Yeah, I think you're
Free
right
play?
on that one. But you can see the intent from Westlake. They had some deeper routes going on, a lot of going across the field, really trying to get defenders to pursue all the way. It's just been the pressure from that Alta Hawks defensive front that's really caused a massive disruption for this Westlake offense.
That Alta front is nothing to mess with. It was a false start. I did think it would be an offside, though, because I thought they would blow the play dead.
So that was a procedure penalty.
It was a holding.
And I'm curious why it was a 10-yard penalty. That
must have been a hold, no?
Okay. Was that what it was? All right, two penalties on that one. So, again, a great play by that Alta defensive front because you're putting the pressure on, and those big dogs up front, hard to move your feet, and so you grab a little bit too much, and it pushes that Westlake offense back.
I think you got to just go to the air here, Brian, right? You know, you got to just.
It's got to be something to get you some yards, right? Like, and you're backed up against it right now.
Or you also got Ashton Taylor in the backfield. So let's see. They go to the air again. Brighton fires. Oh, it's just out of the hands or dropped by Lennox Nea as he had it in his hands.
Pass intended for Lennox Nea. Incomplete. Second down.
Boy, that's a heartbreaker because he was able to get his hands on it, but kind of crossed over shoulders on him, making it a much more difficult catch than you would expect. And you're starting to see, again, fatigue setting in for a lot of these guys as we see that there is an Alta Hawks player down out there at the 15-yard line.
And they will evaluate. And in the meantime, Brian Brown and Mike Goodkind will step aside here for a short little break. Stay tuned. Fourth quarter Friday Night Lights coming your way from Saratoga Springs. Goodkind, Brian Brown from Saratoga Springs, Utah. Westlake from their own 10 here on 2nd and 20. Ashton Taylor up the pipe, makes a move, bounces to the outside. He's got room to go to the 30, and he's knocked out of the 30-yard line.
Taylor with the run.
By Bear Turner.
Again, you'll see it with Taylor as he gets older and more mature. He'll be able to lower his pad level a little bit more, but
just short.
It's really hard to critique a run where he gets almost a first. Oh, we do get a first down on that one. Just a phenomenal effort by Ashton Taylor, and you can't say enough about a sophomore back running the way he does.
So it's going to be Westlake first to catch a break here. 30-yard line. And Brighton here. Shotgun snap, draws motion. It's zoom in motion. Brighton avoids the sack. Can he avoid it for long? No. He is brought down. And a ferocious sack by none other than number 78, Timmy Snell.
Timmy Snell. If it doesn't work out at football, man, he can be a calf roper. He can do whatever. What a job by him. And he pops up with a little bit of a little electric slide celebration afterwards. You know, Snell doesn't... I joked earlier he has a hard time filling out his jersey, but it doesn't matter. He is an absolute beast.
Timmy Snell, man, he's been playing.
Mini Hulk.
Mini Hulk. Here we go, Brighton from the shotgun, 9:20 and counting on the clock. Draws motion. He's going to hand off to Ashton Taylor for a gain of maybe 4.
Nice job there by Taylor, and you know, they had it set up well, and then Alta does a good job of filling in the gaps, and Taylor not able to get his usual, almost, it seems like, I'm guessing, but he's been averaging 8 to 10 yards a carry.
Well, you got to think, this is 4-down territory, right? You know, if you don't get the first here.
To your point, there's only 8 minutes and 39 seconds left right now.
Yeah.
So time is starting to tick away, and it's still a 3-score game.
Let's see. Brighton again from the shotgun. 3 receivers right, 1 left, and that's going to be a false start.
I think we're actually going to get a delay of game here. It looked like the play clock reset on it.
Rather, yep.
Coming from the back judge there. Look, we've had a lot of false starts, so I don't blame anybody for thinking that anyways, but critical mistakes at critical time, and it's a much better margin right now for Westlake than it was last week, but they still have those mental miscues that are really causing an issue.
I think both teams are going to have some long meetings this week, just about the penalties.
Yeah,
Brighton takes snap. He's going to fire this one. And what a play from Lattimore.
Complete to number 2,
Jackson Lattimore. A beautiful catch to the opposite 45-yard line.
Well, I'm jacked up from Jackson's big play there. Does a great job of manipulating the defender and positions himself perfectly to go get it. And Mike, I've got a smile as wide as this Utah County stretch from that play right there. A big play when Westlake needed it most, and they went to the guy who's done the best job tonight.
Jackson Lattimore, man, he's been the one receiver and a major bright spot for this Westlake offense.
Yeah, remember the name.
Remember the name. Brighton fumbles the snap. He's got to pick that thing up. And did he get there? And it looks like it's going to be Alta football as the official signal.
Turnover, Alta ball.
Who jumped on it is the question.
Well, based on the reaction, none other than Minnie Hook himself.
Was it Timmy Snell, man? Wow.
And he's out there celebrating. What a turn of events, man. And you talk about this is such a game of momentum. And you know, for that Westlake defense, they're back out there trying to make a stop again. And you can kind of see almost the exasperation on their faces is just a bad snap, mishandled. Bosser wasn't able to get his hands on it, but Timmy Snell, man, you talk about earning it. He's been relentless tonight.
He really has been. Very active. Timmy Snell, man.
I don't know if he'll love the Minnie Hulk nickname, but I love it for him.
The junior, though, on that front line is he's been playing really well. From the shotgun, Brown's going to hand this off to Nolan, and Lonez gains a yard.
And 8 minutes and change. Looks like
Gain of 1 on the play.
8:01 right now left on the clock. And again, Alta with a 3-score advantage right now. It's all about just milking that clock and possessing the ball. You may see a play or two here or there where they try to maybe keep the defense honest, but for the most part, I think we're going to see them grounded out here.
Is Brown going to take a shotgun snap here? Do you go for the end zone again? I mean, why not? You're up 17-0. Make it 23. Fires Matt McKay, and another first down and more for Matt McKay.
Pass complete.
Yeah, good to see McKay get up after that one, as he had a couple Westlake defenders coming in to tackle him, and he is a tough hombre out there. But you mentioned taking a shot. I actually like that call. It's a
first down.
Quick little rollout, gets your quarterback into space. You see Brown's able to plant, deliver the ball, and even more so, they're able to deliver a first down, and that's more time to tick off that clock.
7-10 and counting here. Brown from the shotgun, and he did just draw number 90. Number 90, Pelosi. Tuvai offsides.
Yeah, and Tuvai, a young player as well, but with a lot of potential. He's a big kid. You see him hustle off the field. We haven't called his name a lot, but he's been disruptive in that defense.
Brown hands it off, and Lonez dropped at the 38-yard line. We'll have another 2nd and 10 here.
Yeah, and I'm cheating off your notes, but Apolasi had a tackle last week in the game against Weber, and fatigue is the name of the game at this moment, right? Where this defense for Westlake has been out there for a while, and we've gotten away from the days where so many players went both sides of the ball. And so you have this 2-platoon action, but it still wears on a defense to be out there as much as Westlake's been out there.
And it's just a game of clock here too, right, Brian Brown? I mean, just run that play clock all the way down to 1, and here we got the game clock at 6:09 and counting, and we got another flag thrown over the middle.
Pass complete.
And that was completed.
Yeah, I think this one might have been offsides anyways. So it looks like that play may stand.
Bear strong, though. Nice play.
Yeah, and a good job by Brown to get rid of the ball. And you're seeing, again, Westlake trying to do whatever they can to make something happen, and it's getting to that desperation time. Oh, okay. So.
Oh, no, okay. So cancel out the Bear strong reception. And if you're just Westlake here, Brian, if you could just get the ball back with like A little under 5 minutes.
So here's the interesting part about that. You get the penalty, and so the clock is going to tick because the pass is complete. Well, yeah, they're trying to wind the clock. There we go.
Running now,
yeah. And so, in essence, for Alta, it's okay.
Brown takes a snap, throws Matt McKay, and
Pass
McKay
complete to Matthew McKay.
breaks to the 33-yard line. Matt McKay, stellar game, man.
He has played exceptionally well. But you're seeing why he's such a critical part of this offense. When you need a play, you go to Matt McKay. And, a little bit of chippiness here from the side of Westlake. You feel the frustration starting to set in. But a big opportunity for this defense to buckle down and get a stop. They're on 3rd and 3.
Let's see here. Can the Westlake defense stand them up? Brown again from the shotgun. Takes snap, fires, caught, and here we go. Could be fun. Nice play.
Pass complete to number 18.
By Britton Johnson. Trevor Fabrizio, rather.
Nice job by Fabrizio to set up the defender, cut back to the inside, able to pick up a few extra yards, but the biggest thing on that one is it's a conversion, another first down for this Alta Hawks offense. And really, you're seeing a lot of impressive composure from Alta's quarterback, the young player, Brown.
Well, Fabrizio, just one reception last week for a 5-yard touchdown, but he's been active tonight. He's at, again, we don't have stats up here, but he's been active.
Yeah, if somebody out there would invent a stat system for us, that would be awesome.
Would be great, man. Brown takes a snap, throws. Evan Morton makes the play into the end zone for 6. His second touchdown of the game. The track star does it again.
He's almost faster backwards than he is forwards. Evan Morton bumbles and rumbles into the end zone for an Alta Hawks touchdown. And the go-ahead score puts the Hawks up 23-0 pending the PAT, Mike. And for the side of the Westlake Thunder, she's singing.
She's singing. Question is, if you could get Evan Morton or Matt McKay up here for a post-game interview, who would you want?
Boy, either or both. but I'd be selfish on that one. I just think this has been such a great coming out and party for Evan Morton. You talked about it, Mike, transitioning from track into football, and just the evolution we see even during the course of this game. Earlier, had that pass that he dropped, had knocked away from him, and you see him able to reel it in that on that play, able to keep his balance, and in essence, backpedal his way into the end zone. It's a really terrific play and an evolution for this Alta offense.
And it was really all set up by that Trevor Fabrizio completion. And I think they just caught him by surprise. I don't think this Westlake defense thought they were going to go remotely toward the end zone, and they did.
Yeah, and really, I think a lot of credit goes to this Alta football team. This is a team that lost a bunch of players with the retirement of Lemateo and Coach Teo, a legend here locally. And this is a team of kind of guys that were, I don't want to say left for dead, but kind of underrated and not expected to do what they've done tonight. And they're they're 4 minutes, 28 seconds away from going 2-0 on the season.
Now Westlake here. Brian, as McAllister boots this one to the end zone. It is caught by Peyton Love.
And the ref's not showing him any love on that one as he's going to call a touchback.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. You would like to see a run back.
We've
been dying for a run back, Brian.
Well, I'd like to see Westlake get some points on the board, to be honest with you, because I think this offense has played well. I think the team has played well, and with 4:28 left, they're really going to have to manufacture something to get back into this 4-score game. You can still get there with 3 touchdowns. I guess 3 scores, but for Westlake right now, it is definitely do or die time.
As from the shotgun, Brighton Balzer going to take the snap from the 20. And let's see how aggressive Coach Ali is here. He airs this one out towards Jackson Lattimore, out of his reach.
And I think that's the right target to go afterwards. Lattimore had pretty good separation from the wide receiver. The ball just a little bit, again, wind playing a factor here. I know people at home are sick of hearing that, or else having a real great night if they're playing a certain game. State of Utah, so everybody's drinking Dr. Pepper, folks.
Yeah, everybody, yeah, for the most part.
Maybe a little Sprite.
Personally, I'm a Waterloo guy.
There you go. Hey, that's a great choice.
I drink a lot of Waterloo, bro.
Favorite flavor?
Blackberry lemonade.
Okay, good call. I'm a fruit punch guy, but
You're a fruit punch guy.
I don't think that would surprise anybody who tunes in regularly.
Fruit punch. Are you talking fruit punch, like Hawaiian punch or Waterloo?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll try it. That's one thrown by Brighton, incomplete.
Third down.
It was intended for Ashton Taylor out of the backfield.
And it's getting to that point now for Westlake. You know, you're trying to do everything you can to generate anything. And for Alta, this is prime territory for these Hawks to really press even more and push your front seven up, you know, even just your front four. Make sure you keep them contained, but you see the defender is almost 15 yards off the ball in that quarter's coverage.
4:14 on the clock. As Brighton takes a snap, avoids sack, throws over the middle, and caught for a first down and more by Lennox Nea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at this point, if you're wondering why do you give up that pass, it's because the clock's still going to be ticking. 4 minutes, 6 seconds left. It's a great first down conversion there for Westlake. And if Alta's going to continue to play deep like that, I think you can keep taking that underneath stuff. You just need to get a little bit of tempo. Once you get across the 50-yard line here, you may think about going no huddle.
I mean, you get a touchdown here. I mean, I like to say never say never. Takes snap, throws. Oh, and that should be a fumble. And it is recovered by, looks like.
Recovered by the Hawks. I know that much.
It was recovered by Nolan Lones.
Ball knocked out by Alta. First down.
So, wow.
I don't know what missile it was that they shot from that secondary, but whoever it was from Alta did a great job. Put a head on the football, dislodge that from the receiver, create a turnover, and if you're an Alta Hawk fan, fly baby fly. The Hawks are in control.
Okay. Okay, they're going to run this football here. Brock Russell up the middle.
21, John
and he gets to the 31.
Second down.
And for Westlake at this point in time, now you're looking back to the earlier part of the third quarter where you took those 2 timeouts trying to settle your defense down. They become costly because you're trying to stop the clock as quickly as possible. And you know Alta's just going to sit on it as much as they can. Again, the 40-second clock starts once the ball is placed.
Yeah.
For the Hawks, it's just a matter of ticking that clock down.
I think today, man, Brian, if you're going to write a story of the game, it's been a tale of turnovers.
It has. And those early miscues.
Brock Russell up the middle, spins out of trouble, and gets to the 23-yard line.
Ball's run out again by John Russell.
Nice job there by Russell, able to spin for a first down, and again, it just makes that clock tick even faster. And at this point for Westlake, you almost have to calculate if it's worth just letting Alta score to try and get the ball back. I know that sounds almost blasphemous.
It does. Is this a game of padding stats now? Like get the ball back, maybe try to score? And
you know, I think to some degree it's about getting your offense some confidence because you got blown out in the last game and haven't scored a point yet in this one. And credit to the Alta defense. They've done a good job, but also turnovers have just killed this Westlake team.
Brown takes the snap, and it was going to be the first carry of the game.
Brought down by Salefano.
For Nita Fudo.
Second down.
And Salefano on the tackle.
Yeah, you love the effort from Fano there. He's still competing, and it's a big tackle, a loss of about 3 yards, it looks like. And so now as this clock starts to tick, when it gets to third down, you think about maybe calling a timeout there. And if you're Alta, it's you know, try to get the first down here, but more than anything, it's just try to get as much time off the clock as you can.
1:33 and counting. Alta en route to their second win of the season through week 2. And flags fly here with 1:22 on the clock.
On the play.
And again, that back judge signaling the delay of game there, and you can almost always count on that one when he's throwing that penalty flag.
Delay of game, Alta.
You know, in some respects, a bit of a costly penalty, but
ball placed on the 30-yard line.
You get the winding clock, and you get another 25 seconds to burn off.
Repeat, second down.
And you don't lose it down.
1:22 to go here. If you're Alta now, man, I mean, Brian, like, try to get some momentum into week 3, I think, right? You're going to walk out of here probably with a shutout and with a 24-0 win. And looking at week 3, you got to take this as a ton of confidence.
Yeah, and for an Alta team where it's, you know, their region is somewhat up for grabs, you're going to get some convergence there from the Westlake defense. You know, you've got an opportunity. There's some good schools in their grouping, and so they'll have, you know, plenty of adversity on that journey. But you're coming into this next part of your season 2-0, having pulled out a really gritty, tough win here with special teams and defense. It's something that you really have to hang your hat on if you're that Alta Hawks football team.
Let me ask you, by the way, Brian, I mean, you do all 10 weeks of football, do you not? And the postseason?
As many weeks as they'll have me.
How cold are we going to be up here week 10? What are we talking?
Well, I mean, the good news is it probably won't be as windy, and as an East Coaster, you're used to those, you know, more humid days. So you don't have to worry about that as much. But when November rolls around, man, it's cozy season. So you get the coats and the blankets and bundle up as much as you can. I prefer to wear my coat year round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the sense of, you know, a few extra LBs here. So, but for all of you out there, as the clock ticks down to 12 seconds, I think Westlake's taking their final timeout.
And at this point, they will run that clock, though.
Well, never mind.
Down to 5. And the Thunder Band is
ball game. Alta Hawks 24,
counting down the clock 0 for some reason.
Spectators and fans, again, we have
a little bit of a messy ending to what's been kind of a messy game. But the bottom line, Mike, is we come out of here and you can hear the Westlake Thunder playing the alma mater. The Alta Hawks came in and planted their metaphorical flag in the middle of this field and dominated from start to finish.
Special thanks.
They walk out of here with a win, 24-0.
Really great game, offensively, defensively, both sides of the ball for Alta.
Especially for their
you know, I don't think we expected, though, for them to come in here and completely shut down a team that has gotten a lot better and improved from last season.
Well, and it's a Westlake team that's still looking for an identity on offense, and they tried to lean heavily on their stars, Ashton Taylor and Jackson.
Lattimore.
I don't know why my brain just went blue screen of death on me there, but great job by this Alta Hawks defense to mitigate the impact that those two had, and offensively and on special teams, you just can't say enough about that third unit and what Alta was able to do with their special teams group. And again, hats off to special teams coordinator Joey Wilmore, and hats off to Coach Blake Burdett, now 2-0 in his first year at Alta.
The campaign for the state championship after
players, please meet by
again,
the concession stand to help clean
last
up.
Season.
Sophomore and freshman football players report to the concession stand.
But last season, again, we got to talk about this up and down year last year, and the Alta Hawks finished well to a semifinal run.
Yeah, the big thing with the Hawks last year was just the inconsistency during the regular season. You replace a stellar quarterback from last season in Kepa, who's now at Lone Peak, like we mentioned. You replaced a ton of starters, a lot of departed guys, moved on to different schools after Coach Lemateo retired, and kind of left this program for dead after what had been a really outstanding finish to the season last year. And sure enough, the Hawks, there's plenty of life in this program right now, Mike.
Plenty, and I do believe we'll have some life up here in the box. I'm under the impression that Matt McKay may be coming up here.
Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed. And then for those folks at home who are like, how do they not know? Well, it's not always our call.
We you know, they got to go through the coaches and
administration.
Look out for number 8, though, Matt McKay. So if you hang with us here, viewers. We may or may not have Matt McKay joining us on the post-game show. Stay tuned, I guess. Should we take a break, step aside, and we'll come back. Stay tuned right here, KSL, for the post-game. And potentially, Matt McKay. High school, Mike Goodkind with the high school football aficionado in Utah, Brian Brown, and a 24-0 shutout for the Alta Hawks here tonight.
Yeah, great effort tonight by the Alta Hawks and just consistent game. Just a consistent game from start to finish, really, for the Hawks, and did it in all three phases. Something that I feel like we didn't see from the Hawks earlier in the season. They struggled early on to get a handle for that Juan Diego triple option attack in game one. But they really evolved and grew throughout the course of this game. You saw the turnovers early on, both defensively and on special teams. Just a really strong victory for them. And for the Westlake Thunder, tough effort tonight. You saw them come out strong, went for the big play early on, had a good drive going, but just not able to capitalize on it. And that really was the story of the game for Westlake offensively.
I think you said it, man. Their turnovers. Without the turnovers, Westlake's in this game from the start.
Yeah, and that's really, a part of a program like this, we're under Coach Ale. They're trying to grow and evolve and build something here for the future. And this will be a game that it's a tough start for them, right? 0-2. You just played two really strong programs in Weber and Alta. But the good news is you still have region on the table. Nothing is out of your grasp. And so if you can get your hat back on, get back in the saddle, use whatever cliche it is that you want to use, you still have plenty of opportunity here to get back into it. And you've got two great lessons in front of you in terms of what you need to do going forward.
Well, a major bright spot for this Westlake team was Ashton Taylor. On the ground, in the backfield, bubble screens, he did it all. Very active offensively, 213 yards last week. We don't have a stat sheet for this week, but he was stellar.
He was great tonight and, averaged a big chunk of yards. I'm not sure if it was quite 10, but he was phenomenal in the rush game. The problem was that they just kept making critical mistakes when they couldn't really afford to do that. And as we see, I think our fans at home are going to get a real treat because we got the real star of the game come over here.
Matt McKay in the building. Matt, thanks, bro. We got Pat McAfee style interview.
A little bit of on-the-fly production here.
Come in the middle.
We'll get Matt in here.
Oh yeah. We don't have a mic for you, Matt, so you got to just listen up.
Yeah, right. So just to start out, talk to us a little bit about the changeover. New head coach, a lot of departures from the program. What's that been like for you and for the rest of the guys who decided to stay?
Oh yeah, it's been tough, but Burdett, he's such a good guy. I can't say enough good stuff about him. He really brought the team together. A lot of the kids left, but that just brought a lot of new opportunities for younger kids to step up. And obviously, we shut them out. So.
Talk a little bit about the younger kids, because you guys got a wide receiver out there, first time playing football. Have you had some influence on him?
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I know. He's a dog. He just comes and works hard every practice, and that's all it takes. So.
Matt, last year, this team pushed to a semifinal run after a rough start, up and down season. Now here this year, you're an absolute monster out of the gates. 3 touchdowns through 2 games. What's been working for you on both sides of the ball start this year?
This year I've kind of taken a different approach of, when I come to games, I just try and come out and have fun. Because, I noticed last year I was, so nervous before the games, and, I would just, psych myself out. I didn't have a lot of confidence, and this year I'm just trying to have fun, and it's working.
So you grew up playing quarterback, always trained as a quarterback. What's the transition been like to playing wide receiver and safety? Do you have a preferred position that you want to play in that regard? I know you're helping out on all angles.
Yeah, I definitely like wide receiver. I'm more comfortable playing wide receiver. Quarterback's fun and all. You touch the ball every play, but there's just something about catching the ball and going to score. It's just a different feeling. I love it.
Athlete regardless, you've done a great job. I've been a big fan. I watched you play against West last year in the playoffs, and just the dominant effort you had. Talk a little bit about what you want your future to look like in football.
Oh yeah, so I'm looking to go on a 2-year mission, and then honestly, whoever gives me an opportunity to play, I'll go play for them.
Anywhere, anytime, any place, huh?
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Matt, momentum from this game, 24-0 shutout into the next week. What's the game plan, and what do you think Coach Burdett's message is going to be to the team this week?
Well, he always tells us, after our win last week, he said the best thing about going 1-0 is that you can go 2-0. So I'm sure when we get back, he's going to say the best thing about going 2-0 is you can go 3-0. So I think that motivates our guys a lot, just to not lose a game.
And on that tip, how does a win like this help you prepare for region?
I think it's big time. Westlake's they're a good football team. I mean, I think it's impressive we shut them out, but it's just helping out these younger guys get more experience. So.
Well, if I were a college coach, I'd offer you right here on the spot, man. You do a phenomenal job.
He's got more facial hair than me, man.
I know.
And you're 10 years younger.
If you're looking at home, like Mike and I are not short. We're like 6'2", 6'3", and you got us beat easily, at least me anyways. So congratulations, Matt. Great win. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great stuff, man. Thanks for joining us on the post-game show. Great stuff, man. Alta next week. Where are you guys at, by the way?
At West Jordan.
At West Jordan.
Yeah.
You feeling confident?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Feeling good?
Yep. Always.
Love it. Anything else, Brian?
Chance to go 3-0. That's all you need,
Chance to go
right?
3-0. All right. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys.
From Brian Brown, Mike Goodkind, Sawyer, you're the man. Hey, thank you so much, Ken. We appreciate you watching here on KSL Sports. For right now, Mike Goodkind saying, be good, be kind. Goodkind. Out. See you next week.